Incoming transmission.
Welcome to Saving Star Trek, a show talking about one of my favorite shows, Enterprise. I am Linda Park. I play Hoshi Sato and also Empress Sato. So enjoy this show. I love that it's finding a whole new life on the streaming services. And you better hit that like button or Empress Sato will not be happy. I mean, she could make a storm happen, and she could really make your life hard. Anyways, enjoy the show, hit that like button, and thank you for being a fan of Enterprise.
Oops. There I am.
Previously on Star Trek.
Incoming transmission.
Timelines are sensitive. They're prone to temporary fluctuations.
This is no fluctuation. This is a trajectory away from our desired outcome. See that you take definitive actions to correct this. The weapon must be launched. The Earth must be destroyed.
On the edge of time, we've lost the rising sun, a final sign. As the misty morning rolls away to die, reaching for the stars, we blind the sky.
right. Is everybody all caught up on the Xindi arc so far? Do you know where we're at in our story? Welcome, everybody. It's Saturday night, and that means it's time for Saving Star Trek. I bid hello to all of you out there in the chat. I see John the Beagle Dad, Mr. House Party 6, Buddy Hepburn. I see JT Kirk. I see Lombardi 1969. My friend Sean Carter, who's here with me. I see Resolute Germ, who's here with me. I see Radioactive. I also see, did I say Mr. House Party 6? Jonathan Hancock. The Dead Man, who was a guest on the pregame show. It was great to see him. Dave C., a good friend of ours, Lombardi 1969. And Mr. House Party 6 has brought 6 members into our family. This La Cosa Nostra thing of ours. Thank you so much, Mr. House Party 6, who has brought into the family. Let me see if I can find the names. We have Rebel Rose. Welcome to Rachel Piercy. Mr. Angel. We love Mr. Angel. What a great guy. Jonathan Hancock back in the fold. LDG Free the Net. LDG, my friend, it's good to see you. Words and Pictures. Good to see you again. Words and Pictures. Always a pleasure. And Lombardi 1969 is greeting us all. It's good to see you all. Dave C. Everyone else. All right. Well, what did you guys like my little Star Trek essay? I mean, you're allowed to say no. I mean, your food replicator will be turned down in resolution, but you're allowed to say no. What?
Yeah.
Personally, I'm surprised we're still here.
Yeah, we're not pulling off the air?
No, here's the deal. I took the hit and will not be monetizing this stream. And I wanted to deliver you guys the very best Star Trek experience I could as a passion project. I thought that Children of the Sea by Black Sabbath really does lend itself, because the Star Blazers theme is like 90 seconds long at best and in Japanese. So this was a much better choice, and it had a lot of the themes of apocalypse and fending off a genocide and the fragility of humanity. And okay, they're not Children of the Stars, it's Children of the Sea, but it was the best I could come up with, and I enjoyed it. What do we need?
Change one of our emojis to Ozzy in memorial / awesomeness, like what you did.
Sir.
That's, JT, someone has something to say.
Sir, that was so controversial. Sir.
Well,
I don't know. Do I have an Ozzy avatar? I might not. You know what we could do is we could do this for a moment. I have this media opportunity. We could put this up there for a moment. Welcome to the Star Trek show, everybody. Where we just heard, and it's not even Ozzy, it's Dio Black Sabbath, but that was a pretty copyright compliant, and the meat of what will be a Xindi arc voiced over video coming out probably next week or the week after. We need to finish this one up. We're pretty well acquainted as to where we are. Rather than accept praise Politburo style, which if anybody wants to just jump in there and do it and just tell me how great the video was, go ahead. I mean, I'm not going to stop you.
You may now applaud.
Please clap. No, Politburo style, where it's like, sir, that was a mighty and magnificent style essay. If anyone wants to go Politburo and praise the essay,
First
go
one
ahead.
that sits down on your panel, Teague, gets thrown into the transporter.
That's right. I'm like Saddam. I throw people. It's not really. No, I don't have a transporter. That's what I call my soda bottle shredder. Disloyal people who get thrown into the transporter, which is actually just an industrial soda bottle shredder. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to Saturday night. You had your little impactful, in my opinion, Star Trek Black Sabbath intermix there. And welcome over onto the Green Band of Bumble. I don't want to say the name just yet because, the red band patrols the green band. But you know what? That reminds me. Time to turn on the Bumble feature of tonight's show, where I have to actually go to the studio and trip it and boom, 3, 2, 1. Everybody on Bumble. Ooh, encoding error. Ooh, what's going on here? Could this not be working? Bumble is always such an interesting experience, or not. Might be working. I can't tell. It is. Hey, welcome everybody over there.
Use StreamYards, unfortunately.
Excuse me, Jerp?
The green band does work perfectly well if you do not use StreamYards.
It works well. It's just that I'm
It's
trying to
funny
get this.
You can't do any of this without StreamYards. but you can't do that brand with StreamYards.
And they have their own studio, but you can't put up an avatar that's useful. It's a weird system.
That sounds like the late night show with Jimmy Kimmel. Just loaded, fraught with issues and complications and peril.
And an avatar that has no real meaning or use.
You said it.
All right, well, welcome to our non-political Star Trek show, where tonight we reach an episode where the Enterprise crew encounters an anomaly on the horizon. It's a storm. They approach, and they're swept back in time to December 7th, 1941, where the forces of Imperial Japan are about to attack Starfleet Command at Pearl Harbor. The carriers aren't there, but the battleships are. They go in to engage, the anomaly appears again, and they're swept forward in time. It's one of the weirdest Star Trek episodes ever. I don't know why the Enterprise is riding on the ocean. What did you guys think of the episode Countdown?
I really liked the F-14s buzzing over some of the ships. You know,
that was JFK's nice yacht, the Honey Fitz, that they used in that.
Yes. I also liked that it looked like this was really filmed in Hawaii this week.
They took the crew on a little vacation. It had been rough for the Star Trek people. They let them go to Hawaii. They're like, listen, we're going to get the Xindi this week. Let's all go to Hawaii. But, no, we had a pretty interesting episode of Star Trek Enterprise as far as Countdown goes. This is the truth. The Xindi Council has fractured. The Insectoids and the Reptilians have an alliance. It looks like they're pretty secure in being evil together. But by the middle of the episode, for now. But we find out that the Xindi are a little more independent, and like we did all this world building with Degra's throwaway comments before he dies, to sort of set up the other Xindi species. So I mean, we got these aquatics. Closest thing I can come up to is they're like Ents. They're very slow to move and act. They debate for a really long time. Then we've got the arboreals and the primates. Two different versions of the same thing. They look relatively different, but they have the same outlook. And the insectoids, they seem to be the most malevolent and evil-driven bugmen. But even the bugmen are starting to think twice about this plan, because Archer and the NX-01's crew have exposed that the Guardians are also the sphere builders, and that the spears might just be making space uninhabitable. Which means the Xindi are useful idiots. And once again, we've humanized our bad guys, which this show needed to stick with a bad guy. It's to its great detriment. But I did think that we had a fantastic series of shots, exteriors, and special effects stuff with the coalition of the willing, as I call Archer's Armada. What is it? Is it Archer's Armada or is it the coalition of the willing, guys? You tell me.
Archer's Armada sounds a little better.
Yeah.
It's kind of both, isn't it? It really is both. But yes.
I prefer to think of it as coalition of the billing, since a lot of them actually were in the credits this week.
That is true. we have a good episode with only like 4 producers. Sussman, he of supposed fame for Star Trek United, if it happens, is the executive producer of this one. We have ended last week with Hoshi being kidnapped off the bridge of the Enterprise with the Reptilians' transporter beam, and she's in their custody, and they are not going to be too cool to her in our opening segment, because we start off this week with basically Archer and everyone else in we get a recap, and as we merge into what's going on this week, it's just Hoshi is passed out on the floor. I think did the Xindi Reptilians have a brief conversation first about bring us the human female? She'll be able to decipher our own language for us.
They did last week.
It was maybe they probably segued by repeating that segment. So they've kidnapped Hoshi because she's going to be able to translate the Xindi codes and crack them for her because she's the best code cracker ever. I'll start with a question to the panel. I'll let
what
you
did
guys,
you call her?
The code cracker?
Admiral, how dare
Xindi
you?
code cracker.
How dare you?
Oh, we could also call her the enigmatic decoder. But anyway, she's the Xindi code breaker, and she's going to help them speak their own language, which is weird. This is like we needed someone from Mars to explain how to speak Russian to us. Honestly, it doesn't make sense that they can't crack the Xindi code. The other Xindi's code. They're trying to crack, what is it? The aquatic code.
Aquatics. Yeah.
Right.
And they are just reptiles. They're
The
going to need a
reptilians
time
have-
to do their form.
They have consistently been shown to be dumber, which is one of the things that makes us wonder how their lack of wisdom got them into space and how they didn't. Like, what happened? The other, I'm like my head canon on this one, guys. I invite comment on on this opening segment, which I think is a good opening stinger, better than an opening story, but it is a good opening stinger that gets us into the story. What do you guys think about? Do you think it builds up Hoshi, or is it just convenient to kidnap her that we have her be a better code breaker than they are?
Admiral, it's pure
Before
convenience.
we get into that, though, we have a new member, Admiral.
Who do we have? Let me take a look.
The dead man has joined the fleet.
At the captain.
Dead man, welcome to Captain. Everybody, thank you. Well, Dead Man, we salute you. You have been, with us since the very beginning. I think you've been here since the beginning of our Star Trek journey on Saturdays. I want to welcome you to our fleet, and I invite you guys all to imagine. And Dead Man, think about this and give us the answer. When you join my fleet, you become part of a mighty armada. And I'd also point out that Dead Man is member number 2,900 of Admiral Teague's fleet. Actually, no, he's member like 61 of the community. But the fleet stands at 2,899. We killed off a few more bots, I suppose, or some people got unsubscribed. I don't know how it works, but if anybody out there is listening who hasn't joined, help us get to 2,900. The march to 3,000 is underway. We are hoping to make it to 5,000 by the original series, but the Dead Man, thank you to my community. I want to thank everyone. We had a great... Hello, Kimberly Ann. I didn't see you come in. We had a great beginning to the month with a... member stream, unlike any we've had in a while. I usually don't do the ones where we go live on the air because we've had some subterfuge happen in the past. So I usually make member videos, but it was time to meet and talk to all of you, and we gave enough notice on this one, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to see everybody and hear people's voices and kind of have like you guys on as equals. That was fun. I want to thank you. That was fun as hell. And I think this month, maybe the Xindi arc video for the general public will be what this channel gets. And let's support the hell out of that one when we can. But the Dead Man, as a new member, imagine what ship you'd be captain of. What ship in all of sci-fi? Because it goes across all franchises. This is a multi-franchise fleet. It's the Final Federation fleet. We are zooming in on the new Trek fleet. We're going to destroy it. And then we're going to take Earth, and we are going to rule as the real Federation. I declare the Kurtzman Federation to be illegitimate. Should the Sussman Federation rise to preeminence, well, we'll keep our distance and keep an eye on them. We're not swearing loyalty to anybody till we know for sure. But welcome to the channel to the Dead Man. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, we are seeing them tipping their hands to things that people really found frustrating with Hoshi. They pay it off. It's not a mystery box, but yes, go ahead.
Back to your question, Admiral. This was entirely convenience to bring Hoshi in. Back to your earlier question or term of her, an enigmatic decoder. If you think back to World number 2 of disagreement,
the second great disagreement of the 20th century. Yes,
the most complicated encryption device ever thought possible back then was reverse engineered and decoded, and that had 159 quintillion possible combinations in its standard form. I'm not talking about all the extra long.
And it needed a couple of sentences decoded to be cracked by human beings fed into it to work for a while too.
So I mean, and that is before electronic or digital decoding, right? That machine was entirely electromechanical. So to think that even by the early 2000s, that it would be a
JT,
better
quick
idea.
question. Was it
Yes.
analog?
It was
Or
analog.
The first digital computer was invented in Stony Brook, New York, 1948.
Ah, well, there you go. There you go. But we even knew in the 2000s with our computing that it just jumped in order of magnitude you couldn't comprehend in the 40s, far beyond the capacity of humans to decode passwords or passphrases. And now, 20 years later, we could have a quantum computer that could do the same. So imagine another 200 years how easily we'll be able to just rip through any password like this that you have. Why do we need Hoshi to do anything at all? It's purely preposterous. The only way I can think that maybe she shortcutted everything was the Aquatics are big fans of Tolkien, and their passphrase was "speak friend and enter." I mean, that's all I can think. Maybe they had it in Aquatic, as J.R.R. Tolkien originally wrote, the Fellowship in. But you're muted, Admiral.
You haven't really read Lord of the Rings until you've seen it in the original Aquatic.
Exactly. And I'm sure other people that are more into decryption and that type of stuff would just, go off on this for an hour about how stupid this was, but it's pure convenience. Summarize.
Phantom Outsider is here. Welcome. And Radioactive, I see too. It's good to see Radioactive. The Landman panel's got to get together this week. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. And guys, if I seem out of it, I am. I'm sorry. It's called a work hangover. It's a good thing to have, honestly. But I'm glad to be here with you. I've been looking forward to this since I started work on Monday. Actually, since we ended the show last week. So JT spoke in his part about the opening stinger and where we're at in the Xindi arc. Sean or Germ, you are next, gentlemen. Whichever one.
I was okay with it. The reptilians don't come off as the most brilliant guys to me, so they're going to need someone else to do something rather complicated like decode. But that's just me thinking bad of the reptilians. I don't have a high opinion of the cold-blooded.
So in your mind,
sir.
are the lizard or reptilians just the UPN Klingons then? Like the Kazon?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. Interesting. Mr. Sean.
You're up next.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you guys. I don't see them really as Klingons. They're more like the bad guy of the week. I mean, the Klingons, it's hard to compare because they had a full culture and they have a history
This
and lore.
is species 90210. They pop in out of nowhere and they're dicks.
Yeah, I mean, they needed a bad guy, but I mean, they're interesting. It is kind of cool. I like their hair. It's kind of funky with their little quasi dreadlocks. You got one species with the cornrows. You got one with the kind of dreads that just stick around everywhere. But they're cool. But I mean, we don't learn too much about them other than they're just assholes.
Most of them are assholes, and then there's a few nice guys among. It's sort of like they wanted to do what they kept doing with the other species, right? It's like with the Suliban, they were dicks. Then we meet a bunch of them who totally aren't dicks, who are being treated like dicks by these other dicks who are worse. And then we don't pick up the pieces and follow. We didn't need Dean Stockwell to be a presence among that other species that were keeping the few cool Suliban hostage. We could have had that species be our enemy. And they were pretty easy to make aliens, and they had every reason to hate us. And you know what? Those of us who saw our interview with the J-Man, guess what? He agreed with us on he changed his grade on Detained on my show.
Oh, really? buddy Hepburn.
What did Buddy say? What did you do, sir? What did you do now?
They had her all drugged up and barely coherent. I wouldn't even let her cook dinner like that. Oh,
And she could get me a beer like that.
How
But that's
dare
about it.
you.
Yeah, baby, take the credit card and order us some taken. You know what? I got to agree with some of that. I think that maybe there's an intuitive aspect that starts the AI out that she needed to be part of. The show's so far enough into the future that we've got functioning AI-like computers. And they use the term there is an artificial intelligence within the spheres.
Yeah, rudimentary. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe she does call it rudimentary. It's T'Pol who says it. It's in the recap. We couldn't hear the recap, but I think maybe hearing Black Sabbath was better. So I think, honestly, it was a better opening sequence than it is a way to open up our story. But before we go to commercial, what we have is, I mean, it's guys, these Xindi, they are some bad hombres, and none of us trust them. And here's what they are treating our sweet, beautiful Hoshi just like absolute dog shit. And let me just show. Here they are. They got their filthy lizard paws all over them, over her, and they're gonna put some SETI eels in her brain. This again was Star Trek Wrath of Khan. Why have we been hitting Wrath of Khan notes so often?
It was Wrath of Khan mixed with Star Wars.
We have hit Wrath of Khan notes every couple of weeks. What was the Star Wars aspect?
The Xindi Death Star.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe
Yeah.
just in this scene in particular, because I would
And
say Princess
and
Leia being
Obi-Wan
sort of attacked by the
Obi-Wan
probe droid.
Archer has to go onto the Death Star.
That sequence works though in this. It's not like in Picard season 3 where that was just nonsensical.
Oh well, yeah. I gotta hand it to him. At least his reptilian nail-like claws are well manicured.
It doesn't look like he's wearing an oven mitt. That's a convincing reptile hand. He looks threatening. He looks like he could tear her face off. Anybody? Thoughts on this aesthetic? We're about to get rid of this race. Go ahead, Jerm.
At least his contacts are on straight this week.
Yes, his contacts were absolutely off-centered last week. Sean, we're going to be done with the Xindi arc pretty soon. We've had these reptilians on. Have they been given due diligence as a species? Have we elevated them to believable? Or are they just a knockoff of Enemy Mine who are going to be dicks to people?
No, I don't. I'm kind of glad that they're done. But yeah, I mean, like I said, believable. No, like we've talked about this before. I don't think a planet could sustain 3 or more than 1, maybe 2. Because we did
They
see
should
that
have
one
been
episode
from the same solar system and like have met up later. The
Yeah.
one planet thing it's way too cute. It's like even if they'd been like we weren't aware of each other, but because we were on 5 different moons of the same stable planet, like something, anything, you know?
Right.
There was a more interesting way to make them real. I agree.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, though.
It's interesting. It's an interesting concept, but practically, it wouldn't happen. I think the best example we've seen of 2 species on a planet in all of Trek was Dear Doctor, where you had that one species that was becoming and evolving to be smarter, which would replace the other one.
Smart
That one
in
was
a weird, different way. Yeah, they're only proto-smart right now, but they're starting to. They're out adapting the dominant race, which has like genetic problems.
Right. And that would be something that would be more likely to happen on a planet because there's only so many resources. So, if you had 5 sentient species all competing for raw materials, all competing for land, all that, they would have destroyed each other by fighting for that.
They would have combined, or they would have completely. One of them would have been completely mowed under.
Like the aquatics would have had no chance. Everybody would have just been dumping their industrial waste into their ocean.
That's as they became, unless the aquatics are the first race. For a species, rather.
As a species, I think they're all washed up.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, just wailing on them. Oh. Oh, sirs. I can't believe that so early in my own
Need to press the
show.
reset button.
You know what?
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
Hello and welcome to Saving Star Trek. I'm your buddy Admiral Teague. Get back. I belong
None
on
of
top.
us are quitting our day jobs. Just notice that.
So at any rate, Xindi Lizardman has been, they put enough work into him. We've got enough going on here. If we spend any more time wondering how the Xindi could have come from one planet, we'll go nuts. Some point, somewhere in there, someone should have read a Philip K. Dick book or something and been like, how about they're on 5 habitable moons around like a Jupiter-like planet, around like an extra large sun, and that's why the lizard people work, like their moon like orbits like Arctic, and like they didn't know about the other species, and then like once they have rudimentary space travel, they encounter each other when all their societies are already stable enough, so they, maybe there's a brief war, but they talk it out pretty quick, and that was a long time ago. And we could have we spent so much time with the Xindi, we could have worked that in there. We've done a good job with exposition. The only excuse here is that the Xindi have to be called underthought. Anyone else?
They have to be called what now?
Underthought. They were underthought as a whole. Like only the
Oh.
arboreals and the primates have a developed, species.
Yeah, I think so.
I
That's
think they
probably
got
it.
to a certain. I think they got to a certain point and they realized it was getting too complicated to fit into the show, and they just gave up.
Was there a phone call where someone screamed, "Oh my God, Vengeance Trek, what are you thinking? Calm down."
Maybe.
I'm wondering.
Maybe. I think this was a very experimental season. And so they were really in uncharted waters for Star Trek, and even in a lot of ways for TV in general, right? To switch a show to this long arc in a way that we really haven't seen a whole lot of on TV. And you don't really see a whole lot of it until you get to something like streaming with Netflix. And not even early Netflix either. It's like after everybody starts to make their own online content, so just
Terrible,
buying
yeah.
everybody's reruns. So in a lot of ways, it's like a decade before some of this. And this was getting into the heyday of reality TV. And thank goodness they didn't try to go that direction.
Sirs, before we go any further, I have some shocking news here with 21 votes. How do you feel is the poll? Should the crew review...
How do I feel the poll?
Well, the poll is... I think Scotty R37 described to you how I felt. How do you feel? Should the crew review Star Trek Academy show? Yes, with 21 votes, yes. It's like watching a car crash. 57% of our audience. No! Save yourselves! 24%. 14% say, sirs, it doesn't matter. No one cares. 14%. And you're all wonderful people. 5% just want to see the results. I thank you all for taking the poll. And wow, that's a really, it seems like there's some interest out there for this channel to watch Star Trek Academy. We have 18 likes. I would love to get that to like over 21 so that we can have more likes than Star Trek Disgracery has producers. Hello, Kal-El. And hello to Phantom Outsider, who came in a moment earlier. It's good to see all of you here. I'm very glad to have you with us on this one. We were discussing the opening stinger, and I'm just my final thought on this one is great opening stinger. These guys still know how to write TV. We were fortunate. It is still got the flaws of Vengeance Trek, as I have said in the past, but what are you going to do? We're at the end of it now, and we're going to try to end it as best we could. Last week we lost Degra at the end of the episode. He was killed by Dahlem of the reptilians. Did anyone feel that Degra had redeemed himself, guys, on the panel?
Yeah, I think we briefly touched on it last time.
We did.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he did. I do.
Yeah, he redeemed himself as much as he could have. He still slaughtered all those people, but he felt bad about it, tried to redeem himself, and, well, in the eyes of his descendants, he would be a good guy.
Admiral, if I could address one of the comments here that we had was a question from Stephen M.
Go ahead.
He says, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't DS9 the first Star Trek series to do a season-long story arc? Now, my response to that is, yes, they did have the Dominion War and some of the Bajor and Cardassian Maquis conflicts, but their episodes were still more containerized or individualized. You could watch them all in isolation, with a couple exceptions.
They were episodic enough, I agree.
Yeah.
This one,
yeah.
There's a reason why the first thing I said was previously on Star Trek. And it wasn't just because I've always wanted to say that, and I've always wanted to say that, but it was also because, like this episode doesn't stand alone in the least. And my God, with 22 votes, 58% of us, of the people out there, think that we should watch Starfleet Academy. I can tell you right now, Thursdays are out. Everybody works heavily. Landman takes precedence over this garbage, but we may be willing to report on it. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to. And
I don't think we can stop beating on this Kurtzman track. I think every voice of dissent counts. I also think that everybody in our audience, and I'll ask the panel, this is not delusional. I can be there with a prospectus meeting with the Ellisons tomorrow afternoon if they want. Why not one of this channel's goals be that Admiral Teague be given a meeting with Paramount? I could get there. I want to talk to them on behalf of the fans. That is now part of one of our official goals. Admiral Teague should be at any meeting that Paramount has, or be given a meeting with Paramount to talk to their publicity department about what to do to win back Star Trek fans. They need to hear from us. They really need to hear from us.
Admiral Teague of the Final Federation.
The Final Federation, as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen, we are all that is left of the United Federation of Planets. Our Starfleet was destroyed by a media campaign several years ago, which was very, very angry and hateful. We're going to lead by example. And, ever since this Star Trek mantle fell to me, I have made it a mission, one, that this fleet would respectfully and lawfully, within our right of freedom of speech, without ever harassing or bothering or contacting anyone we don't like, with a very loud turning away, show that we will not be pandered to by these new Trek creators, and that we will amplify good Star Trek. We did our best. I made that video to amplify the fact that I want Star Trek United. I think Star Trek United would be good for Star Trek at this point. We need to wash the taste of this out of our mouths.
Here we go.
And this is what, this. And by the way, I wasn't able to isolate his name. I apologize to everyone who enjoys it, but he is in the episode extensively. Guys, Tucker Smallwood is in today's episode. This might be the last time we see Tucker. Would anyone like to talk about Tucker and what he's meant to them along the way before we start? I would just, before anyone else, say I enjoyed his frozen dinners. It got me through many a lonely single night. And that sitting down and watching Tucker, it's not necessarily my perspective, but I enjoy hearing from people who feel other than me. Anyone else on Tucker Smallwood? Did I have the wrong Tucker? I Googled Tucker and I just read the AI. Oh, I'm sorry. This particular actor does do a good job, though. Tucker Smallwood steps in deftly as Degna's deputy, who's now primary primate only way to put it. He's Optimus Primate, and I guess at this point they are negligent not giving the character a name. He needs to be like, well, Degna was okay, but you're okay too. Segna or whatever his name is, and it's like, yes, I will try to help you, because he's making rather strong military promises and other stuff. Like the fact this character has no name is kind of a little bit of a world building omission. But thoughts on that, and Major Hayes finding out that Corporal Holksworth isn't getting out of the shuttlecraft. He's there to meet his man. That's pretty cool. His leadership qualities in this scene. Go ahead, guys. We had a great stinger, I thought. We had a bad version of Faith of the Heart. Everyone agrees. And now we're in our opening sequence. We're back from the Sphere with some Sphere tech. Matches some of the other Sphere tech we've managed to pilfer. Pride Weather unfortunately survived. T'Pol, thank God, her hotness is here. And Major Hayes here to check on his man, the Corporal. Let's talk about this scene. Guys, go ahead.
Let's see here. Well, we've got a nice looking T'Pol.
Yeah, her time on the step machine or whatever she's doing is really appreciated.
And that's Major Hayes. Is Major Hayes in a Mako uniform or a...
He's in a Mako uniform. Man.
Okay, it looks kind of...
They've got their own weird... You know what it looks like? It looks like urban camouflage. It's like gray on black.
That's what they were going for. To kind of make it like the black of space with some of the steel of like the outside of a ship.
Yeah, it made sense to a degree.
Yeah, but Tucker Smallwood, unfortunate name. Unless he's related to Tiger Woods, who's packing a hammer, man. You guys seen him?
They say that.
No, I've seen the pics.
Oh, there's pics now too.
Oh yeah, they were leaked.
Next?
He has a 3-wood, folks.
Guys, Tiger, would you please get a fucking new phone? What are you still?
He didn't have a driver, Sean.
Yeah. When he had that car accident, I've been saying that Tiger Woods needed to straighten out his drive for a long time. But I want to say I find that man personally repulsive to me. I wish that they could have found someone of higher character to have the accomplishments he had, but whatever. You know what? I think the mightiest stroke in all of golf was when his wife helicoptered that fucking club to the back window and destroyed his illusion that he was a nice guy. It just hasn't been the same since then for Tiger Woods. But I don't know. I mean, with golf, I get in a lot of trouble. I got in trouble on Halloween for dressing up as a golfer. Well, we could talk about that later. But
what is it with guys from Queens getting in trouble on the golf course?
Do you remember the guy who played golf who dressed in the old style 19th century golf outfits? I'm blanking on his name now. His plane depressurized. What the hell was his name? Trying to remember.
I don't remember either.
You know, Payne Stewart. I got in trouble on Halloween because on October 29th, Payne Stewart's plane depressurized and it ghost flew across the entire country and I think the military either shot it down or it crashed somewhere in the Great Plains. They made sure it didn't hit anything, but there were military jets flying next to it, and they were saying the plane was frozen over from the inside. So that broke during the day on the news. And I was going to a Halloween party that night, and people thought it was in poor taste, but I improvised a Payne Stewart costume, and I did zombie, Walking Dead style makeup to the Halloween party. And I thought I had the most topical Halloween party, but it turns out that gets you called a creep. That was the first time I ever heard the expression too soon. My girlfriend thought it was funny. That's all I care about. That's a great Halloween costume. Fuck you. I was going to be Ozzy.
Yeah. Okay.
No one needed to see shirtless Teague with fake tattoos.
I took a plunger around one year in college for parties and was Joe the plumber. Almost everyone thought it was funny because they're like, so you spent $2 on your costume. I'm like, oh, you thought I bought a new plunger? Then everybody takes a step back.
Yeah.
I did buy a new one, but anyway, just scare
I
people
see
a
your
little
point.
bit. Yeah.
All right. So just really quickly, you know what? The one person who has had the most to say about the Makos, if anyone else wants to jump in there, they can go next. But JT, you like Major Hayes. His story arc is coming to a head. He's just found out he's lost one of his men. He takes it pretty well here. We're going to jump ahead a little because there's a segment in between this. It doesn't like we don't, this isn't like new Star Trek. We don't pass the story baton and follow him for point of view till he finishes what he has to say and then jump to the next person. It's not that kind of fucked up storytelling stitched together like a monster. Major Hayes finds out here he's lost his man. And I think it's like, is it Trip? And he's just like, I'm sorry, man. It's just like, they just kind of like expect him to take it like more or less like a professional. They're compassionate, but they don't coddle him much. And the only time we see him really processing it is with Mr. Reed later. Thoughts on Major Hayes as a commander and as a Starfleet figure? Go ahead, JT. You start.
Oh, yeah. So as a Starfleet figure, I'm not so sure. I think Starfleet itself that we see in TOS on forward kind of moves past the strictly military, obvious, out in front of you like this until you get to like AR 559 in Deep Space Nine in some ways. I do think he does a great job as a commander. The one disappointing thing that I always felt with the Makos is that they weren't significantly more capable than anything that the Starfleet crew under Lieutenant Reed was. These Makos were brought in to do so much more and be the tough guys. And they almost need rescuing like every time. Yeah, they had different colored phasers, if that's even really what they are.
I think they might have had the super hardest hitting weapon they had, which may or may not have been a phaser. The phase pistol was very precise, a more elegant weapon for a more civilized time. But the Makos have like the 357 Magnums of their time. Whatever it is that hits the hardest, they don't care that much if there's. What does he tell Hoshi? You don't have to compensate for the proton drift. It's like, fuck it, this thing really will blow the shit out of stuff. Here's your weapon, Makos.
But, like, I don't know really what I'm looking for, but the fact that one of them was expended like a red shirt when they were supposed to be the badasses going to the sphere, I feel like it should have been one of the Starfleet crew and not one of the Makos. That's my major complaint with that scene. And also, it should have been Ensign Prideweather.
Yeah,
that
it should have been Ensign Prideweather who got deleted. And it should have been Major Hayes who went. Once it wasn't Major Hayes, we knew that red shirt was a goner. But that red shirt died epically. Sean, your thoughts on Major Hayes taking this here, being told his man is lost. He's lost one of his command. It's the first person he's lost.
Well, it's the first person he's lost on this mission. I have a feeling he probably lost people before because they did. I think
Probably
he did
mixed
talk
it
about
up with a few pirates and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he took it well, but I find it was better to have Reed commanding that because it shows him, it gave him that character a chance to feel responsible for someone that wasn't his own, and he felt it, and I think the actor did a pretty good job there, and he had a very short moment of grief. It was well done. And he handled it as a military person would. He kind of compartmentalized it, put it away, and go, okay, I'd like a report.
Yeah, maybe it was more pain than grief, right? Grief would imply that he stopped to think. He didn't even think on it. He was just like, man.
I detected a hint of just reflection, but it was so brief.
He does a good job. This actor does a good job, right?
Yeah.
He throws a couple of emotions at us in a brief glance and in some body language.
Yeah, and it was
talk to
brief
Bakula?
and it was
Huh?
perfect because what would we have seen in current versions of Trek? Oh God, he would have made some soliloquy and something.
He would have grabbed Trip by the throat, thrown him up against the shuttle pod. and blamed
This
him
was very
personally.
professional. They made sure he was professional the way he did it.
And a good hire on the actor. Jerm, you get to go last. I don't know if there's anything to add because that's pretty thorough. But what do you think?
Yeah, not much to add. He did a good job. It came off that he had been preparing for a while to start losing people. Like, he was surprised it took this long.
That's a great thought. I guess I said most of what I had to say, except that this was one epic red shirt death, guys. Guys, if you didn't see the way this red shirt went out, he got grabbed by a mechanical arm. He went out fucking like fighting like a man. He was looking death in the eye and fucking said "F you," and then Reed just blew whatever that mechanical arm thing was apart with his like proto rifle or whatever hell he had. He had some sort of Mako phase rifle.
He was not found in sickbay with battle fatigue. You get what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Captain Archer having to come down there and tell him to shut up. Yeah, just smacking. Anyway.
So the Paul's looking great here. Let me remove this and I will shuttle ahead a little bit. I'm sorry I didn't have time to make a video essay, guys. I think everyone understands and empathizes that Admiral Teague has to go and engage in life. So again, I apologize. I wish I would have had a better video, more for you, but I thought the previously on video essay to Black Sabbath and to hell with monetization should be good enough, right, guys? To hell with the monetizers. This stream should probably go off for free for everybody. Any commercials you see are for YouTube, not by me. I played that Black Sabbath song. If there's any money, it's going to the Sabbath guys. Hey, they earned it. But you know what? If you could show me some solidarity with some likes and help make this a really highly liked stream, it would only encourage me to do more stuff like that in the future. And also, you know, it would support our channel. I'm looking more for bandwidth growth than anything else. Help me grow my bandwidth. Like the community posts. Help me spread the word. Star Trek is about to come back. And you know what? With Landman, we have a great opportunity too. So anyway, we go back to Deep Space Nine's Ops, which has been retested to the Xindi Council Chamber, and we're going to have a little talk with the Arboreal and Tucker Smallwood, and Archer does some really good acting here, and he did some really good acting when they could scan for life signs and they know where Hoshi is, but they can't pull her out of there to transport her. He's wordless, but once again, he is not in his captain's seat. He's standing in front of it. They have altered the set, even though the ship size hasn't changed. What they've done is they're shooting at a low-angle eye level to Bakula, and they've pulled the helm and stuff forward. We're seeing an impossible angle, which would have to be over and ahead of where the ship's hull would be, to see Archer dead on like this on the Enterprise. When the shot moves in closer, if I recall correctly. There's a lot of beautiful shots in this, but the shot pulls in closer to him. Now, this isn't done in any kind of way except the practical. You know, they just disregard reality for it. There's no weird transition through the hull. You know, we're seeing a God's eye, semi-omnipotent view of this. And I thought when they tell Archer, like, we can't get her back, we're going to have to go over there and fuck them up and like, you know, like we're going to have to go and get the princess out of the detention chamber of the Death Star. Captain
the princess is in another Death Star.
Yeah, but Archer, like, he visibly kind of shrugs defeatedly before squaring his shoulders again. He looks down, then up, and like determines his eyes. He does something with his face, and he turns his head to the side and back before he gives the order. And I felt it was another strong moment of Harrison Ford style acting where he's doing more, and he doesn't have any line except, you know, proceed, something like that. Anybody want to talk about his performance early on in this episode and how he's doing a lot of emoting? And I think, is it me, or are they leaning into strong silent type with Archer? We'll start with Germ this time.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Bakula is far and away the most talented guy, in the room, and it's clear. As far as for his emoting, he's got that down pretty well. You can tell he cares about his people, and he doesn't really care what he has to do. He's getting them back.
All right, so if he has to do a few unprincipled things, he may, but so far he's stuck to his principles. I'd say next, let's jump to Sean. Jonathan Archer, as portrayed by Scott Bakula so far in this episode, his acting style. If you want to ruminate on my Harrison Ford hypothesis, thoughts on this first segment here, where we talk about the stakes, talk about getting back Hoshi, and then end up in the Xindi Council chamber further negotiating?
No, it's great. I mean, he's Bakula has held steady this entire season, really, as far as where the character is. As we've seen this arc go on, he's gotten darker and darker, and now he's just resolved, and he's doing it. But all the while, he still keeps a cool head on his shoulders, and he sees his opportunity to be human. And it's great.
It's very TOS, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did I get everyone? Did JT did you weigh in on this opening stinger and opening segment?
I am just thankful every time we move through another one of these talking in hallways, talking in conference room scenes. I think they just pivot the plot when it's convenient, and I'm tired of seeing this room by, what is this, the 12th episode or something that we've seen this.
Also,
the
all that
acting
Deep
is
Space Nine that we know it's taken from. It pretty much looks.
Yeah.
My guess is Ops, but it could be the Promenade, or it could be. It looks like Deep Space Nine, or 10 Forward.
And the acting is good, right? The costumes are fine. None of that's an issue. It just I'm wanting to get to the next phase of the story, and this room does not do it for me ever. So I'm glad that they're almost done with this part of the story. Now, I'll also say though that another point on this is I was rather unhappy with the direction that they were taking this part of the story, because we've already been making tons of jokes about it. The princess is on the Death Star. Like they've just blatantly gone there. We really need to be doing this story again. But hey, for some people maybe it's different enough. For me, it was a little too close to Star Wars.
It had been a while. It'd been whatever 23 years since Star Wars, and so I guess what they had figured is, without us, Star Wars is nowhere. Like we're kind of in trouble now. Star Wars a little more popular than us. Let's borrow back, which ends up sounding like the Rush album Clockwork Angels, where they tried to copy the bands that copied them and were blatant about it. And we have Rush's version of what they think Primus should have been if they'd been more like Rush. And it's just like, what the hell kind of strange experiment is this?
What the only thing they're missing at this point is Lieutenant Reed and all of 5'8" beaming onto the Death Star, where Hoshi is being kept in her detention cell, and having Hoshi say, "Aren't you a little short for a Mako?"
Aren't you
Gotta
a bit
giggle out of
tall
Sean.
for a jockey?
Yes, Dominic Keating is only 5'8". He is, I believe, the shortest male on the cast.
He looks smaller than everyone else, and he consistently they don't try to hide it, and they don't care. And it's not like, here's the thing: this is a European, capitalistic endeavor too on the part of the people making Star Trek. They're hoping to sell this in Europe, so average height of a European male, same height as Dominic Keating. So he doesn't make anybody he's not conspicuously short. It's just that Bakula, I think, is 6'2".
About there, yeah. Yeah.
With a lanky
Dr. Flux is the same height. They're both over 6 foot, which is like 1.85 meters for our non-freedom minded folk.
It seems to be like it's the unfortunate truth for poor Scott Bakula, and who else agrees with me? All right, you ready? He was the more talented version of Kevin Costner who got kept out of being a bigger actor because people were getting wooden Kevin Costner, and they could have had far more talented Scott Bakula who ends up being the TV version of him.
Okay.
That might have happened there, right? If there's no Kevin Costner, maybe like we get him in like some of these some of those roles. Because right now, Sean, don't you believe? He's 47, so it's on the edge of believability. Don't you believe that if Buck Bokai needed somebody to protect that lead for one inning, wily old former starter pitcher Jonathan Archer here could get like 3 outs to end the World Series? He still looks like he's got a hint of like big man, athleticism, like more than a hint. I wouldn't want to fight him or scrap with him. And this is the most two-fisted captain we've had. Period. Because even though Cisco liked to punch people if he got angry, for the most part, Cisco didn't like to get angry, and Cisco's whole thing was how far can you push him before the part of him that will punch you comes out, which the Q finds out right away and never comes back, which was a good thing in Deep Space Nine, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've talked about this sequence all we can. Let me just pull this all out of StreamYards for a moment, advance the story to a degree. And like I said, we have a council chamber discussion where he's like, look, they got my communication officer. It ain't the greatest, most ideal situation. Back on the ship, Trip and T'Pol they've got some hacked and stolen, well, not stolen, but hacked and appropriated sphere builder, Guardian technology, Guardians. They've got the Guardian tech. And now they're starting to they've had this stuff for long enough. Like we said, there are problems in this arc, but you know what, JT? They would have magically cracked the technical codes of these in less than the 22 weeks they've had.
Right.
So maybe in some ways that we don't appreciate, we're not seeing what isn't there with these technical advancements that they're making, because this is like about TNG level tech. Slightly more advanced than TNG level aliens could pull some bullshit like this and fuck up a solar system. And that's what the spheres are, just basically minds that are going to eventually phase them out of existence and bring them to wherever, I don't know, the mirror universe, where the mirror Tholians are, something crazy like that. Let's just go around the horn and talk about their following of the tech tree and whether or not their time frame might have been. Does this maybe excuse the Xindi arc not being continuous, or is that still just never going to be okay with people?
Wait, I'm confused.
We've got some sphere builder tech that we acquired like about 12 weeks ago, and then we side quested a lot, right? And
they got this last week.
Some of the sphere builder technology was gotten in the episode where they land on the sphere too, though. This is the sphere memory core. They got some other stuff when they broke into that other one, plus they deeply scanned it when they got inside it. So they have more information on the spheres than even the Xindi, what did the Guardians tell them? Don't bother looking at the spheres? Or are the Xindi just terrible at scanning?
Yeah, that was a little. I don't think that the Enterprise would have had better sensors, but they did say they got lucky to get in there. So
they cracked their way into a couple of them. The first one a few weeks ago. And they've had this sphere builder tech. They've been exposed to it 3 times. They got the sphere builder's pod from the guy he said he was a convict. We've decided he was most likely an alien. But now that we've seen the sphere builder's governing council, or whatever we want to call it, and it's completely matriarchal, we've decided that he was some kind of criminal. And like the fact of the matter is, the sphere builders are so evil that even though that guy was a dick, how about this? What do you think? He was like a Chad in their world. That he was like, maybe the male sphere builders should have some say in things too. And they're like, put him in the pod.
He was probably one of their fathers.
He was like the most based sphere builder because he had disdain for their society and ours. It's just like, I just don't want to be in sphere builder jail anymore. So I guess what I'm asking is, as much as compacting this might have helped them and having the Xindi arc be like continuous, the fact that we have had a few side quests and went to the planet from North Star, which debatably was just fun on the final frontier in a season that was very serious, with an idea that might have been a little too serious. Does our time frame here help us, that we've had this, been exposed a few times to this tech and had the time to sort of learn our way into it for this pre-TOS tech level doing post-TNG comprehension? If that makes sense. And if you speak Star Trek, it does.
I think it does make sense. I also wanted to add that there might have been a little bit of a joke going on screen here. This Xindi core is connected by like 12 1-inch clear PVC piping. The flexible, not the rigid kind, with compression fittings on it. And so they connected this Xindi core with tubes, like maybe like a vacuum tube. It to me, it just seemed like a little bit of a technological joke doing that. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but whenever I see that, I find it kind of funny that this is how they attached this technology to the ship.
Well, I mean,
using like a wire.
You might be right. The most advanced race has shown to be the Xindi because they use steam to launch the weapon from underwater. And of course, as we know, steam's better. But I guess we built all we can. If you get it, you get it. All right, so Trip and T'Pol have this conversation. Archer comes in, brings him to astrometrics. The one, yes.
We did not see any image.
Yeah, I going to restore it now. What I do is I jump forward. What I like to do is, rather than when I am forced to use the episode as my slideshow, I find it is the death of many a YouTuber to leave it up on screen and only advance it 10 seconds at a time while talking for a minute. Then after 60 minutes, you've advanced, 600 seconds, and that's just not enough. You're 10 minutes into this friggin' thing and your show is over. So
yeah, that sounds like a real minefield of pop culture that you're talking about. So.
Yeah, it does. And what I do is I like to pull the video off and like visually cue it to the next logical scene rather than fast forwarding on screen. So yeah, reminding me if I haven't restored it is totally fine. All right, so I guess the best thing I can say is, T'Pol, with the best hair that she's ever had, her own real hair just cut kind of badly, is looking pretty sexy. And I did like the way 7 of 9's Astrometrics lab has been retasked into this armory / tactical command center. This is the Enterprise's CENTCOM and armory. The armory is now CENTCOM, and it seems like, I don't know if there's Armory 2 integrated into the torpedo room, because it seemed like it was the torpedo room a couple of times, and then when it doesn't need to be, it just doesn't look that way. It might have the reverse angle on it going on here, and it's the one room from 2 different views, one side being the tactical and the other side being the launch side, but we've never portrayed it correctly enough to get a good read on anything, or a good Mr. read on anything. And also, we've seen a specific torpedo launching room in 2 different funeral ceremonies. So I've got questions about how the torpedoes are launched in the NX-01. But tactical looks great, and I thought the scene was well played. Anyone got anything to add?
I love how she burns Tucker by saying Trip Tucker. Sorry, not Tucker Smallwood.
Right, or
by
Tucker
saying
Carlson,
it would be
the,
great if you
food
could
guy.
come up with an idea of your own. Like they're arguing about what to get for dinner or something. I thought that was kind of funny. Since they are supposed to be like
implication
kind of
here-
in a relationship, so they're kind of arguing like they're in one a little bit. Anybody else
I
like
guess
that? I haven't.
I felt like maybe Trillium played in.
No, we're well past the Trillium.
But it gets mentioned, I think, by Phlox, or that might have been that might have been in the catch-up sequence. I don't know. We do have this previously on Enterprise is going to be with us for the rest of their series mostly. There's not a lot of standalone episodes. We just won't hear it in the first episode of an arc. I'm not a huge fan of previously on Enterprise. That's just me, though.
I also like in this scene that she said she's very fond of Ensign Hoshi.
Yes, her and Hoshi had a cat fight a few episodes into the season where two chicks on the bridge just wasn't working out so great. And then they bonded a couple of times. They've killed together, I think. So, a good sisterhood here.
Oh, no. One day Archer just solved it all. He got everyone in the mess hall. He got 5 or 6 dozen gallons of Jello, and the two of them just had it out. And now they're
There's
best
a kiddie
friends.
pool filled with Jello, and
A standard training exercise. In
they
this
both
era
went
of
back to
Starfleet.
Hoshi's cabin together to sonic shower off the pudding. And we know that both of them can go nuts in the shower. We've seen that this season in weird Friday the 13th Part 5 jazz fusion breakdowns that are like stolen from The Shining and
Yeah.
overly self-important and just don't work. All right, so there's not a lot more to say about this sequence. We're 7 minutes in, so we're on schedule. And there's a little discussion between Trip and DePaul where it is, as we said, emotional, and it continues to establish the reduction in the fragility of the relationship. And the one thing I would say is that part of the episode really did do a good job with the relationship boundaries are being set, but they're not being like dictated. It's like they're sort of like being negotiated, and if anybody went a bit too far in a few places, maybe no one would mind. Like they're kind of like it's almost becoming a little bit of a game for DePaul and Tucker. And for me, like, I can relate to this because I had a girlfriend who broke up with me every week but wanted to meet with me personally to talk about it, and then, like, things would happen, and then she would break up with me again. And that went on for, like, a whole summer. And what a summer, but, like, everyone knows this sort of thing that they're doing here. Finally, we're getting into territory that the nerds who wrote this understand. They didn't understand starting a conversation with a woman, but they understand the difficulty of talking to one very well. I thought the scene when their trophy wives are like, "I'm taking your goddamn car." It's like, but I went through getting beat up for playing Dungeons and Dragons to earn that car. It's like, fuck you, it's mine.
Especially when they're more emotional. T'Pol is becoming more human, and it's freaking both her and Trip out, but they don't really have time to deal with that now, so they're kind of being a little awkward about it. But it is
Agreed.
In the next season, it does pick up. So
Would
good
anyone
blame
agree
Marvel for it.
Would anyone agree that they whiff did they whiff on purpose or pull off on this or just tease it? Is it foreshadowing? But Trip is also, he's becoming arguably more Vulcan because he had to forgive Degra and put his raw Florida man emotions to sleep and not kill anybody, which is what he was wanting to do. So I
don't think that was Vulcan. I think it was character development, sure. But I don't think that was Vulcan. I think it was very human to have to do that.
You're lucky that I got my Vulcan 10-plus girlfriend helping me milk out my hate juice every night by pushing on my feet, Degra, or I might knock your ass on the ground right here. But I'm going to go back to my cabin and listen to Leonard Skinner and drink some whiskey.
10-plus.
She is a 10-plus.
Degra's like, on my planet, we use base 60, so that's not a very high number.
Yeah, it's like, my wife is a 58. Fuck yeah. Sisterhood of the Warpfield Pants. I love it. I'm sorry that I missed that one. I gotta start paying more attention to the chat. Archer had the guy who had the time flux thing, and they brought to the council. That was their proof. Yeah, he had like two things. He had the bodies of the time traveling bad Xindi reptilians who were breaking council dictate, and he had the quantum signatured future Xindi talisman of ascension. It was a little weird what it was, but it's like
It was the tchotchke.
ascension metal.
It was the tchotchke. They're like, this Xindi in the future put this on his refrigerator. They're like, you're right. It was kind of lame.
I'm just imagining Degra being like, I'm with stupid. That's one of our most cherished phrases from our 1970s. Well, I mean, did I tell the audience? I have a tattoo above my belt with an arrow pointing down that says I am with stupid. But let's go forward here with the story. We're getting ready to kind of close this out. So our Xindi factions are going to start to play less and less of a role. Here they are. Let's talk about them at length for one last time. Guys, the Xindi reptilians, they are our primary bad guys. They're the most, you know what, as a graduate of William T. Sherman High School, I would just say as a damn Yankee, our team, the Barn Burners, were state champions 3 years in a row. And I would also say this, when we played in the Nationals against South Carolina, we had a great time singing Battle Hymn of the Republic in the stands at the county stadium when we whooped them. But, okay.
I was going to say, did your marching band compete in the Nationals down in Georgia?
Not only did we compete in the Nationals down in Georgia, we won, and also we had the worst hazing incident. What we did was we took guys from the other teams and made them haze into our band, and it was fatal for most of them. That's what happens when, like, one of the guys in your town high school marching band from Jamaica High School, plays the 9mm. Don't try to. Yeah, I think at the most messed up football game I was ever at. We were playing like Roosevelt High School, where Eddie Murphy went to high school, and what happened was there was a fight, like a really bad foul on a field that turned into a fight, and what happened was they were kicking the shit out of our football team, and our cheering squad, which was like totally ghetto, ran out there and fucked up the opposing football team to the point where the cops had to like rescue the opposing football players from our cheering squad.
Nice.
Well, that's high school in Queens.
Yeah,
but we've got these aliens. We've put enough work into them. I don't know. Like, this guy's a douchebag. He's got Luke Caprassi's backstory. Commander Dunham's been our foil for a whole season. He might be, if they had done a little more with this guy, he could have been elevated to season bad guy. I'm going to say it right now. I think his fucking Wicker Man outfit really hurt his character. I don't think it was a good choice. I think his head antennas also really hurt his character. A simple lizard without the antennae and with like a less stupid outfit would have been better. They were just like too afraid to go like low-key conventional because they'd done too many other things or something else. So while the performance of this might be Jeff Worthy or Scott McDonald, I don't know. Those are two of the Xindi actors too. While the performances were worthy, I don't think it was Neelix level, but costume and aesthetic of Alien, not my fave.
There were no 2-year-old Ocampa around, so that saved you from the Neelix issues.
Let's not even go there. Yeah, I know. Yuck.
I left it as far away as I could. But,
in the episode "Cry Freedom" from Star Trek Voyager.
The thing about this, Admiral Sir, was that I just feel like all of the time we spent in this plot making the reptilians the villains was too little, too late. They brought out Commander Dollop, I guess is what I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him Dollop because
there you go.
I need a nickname for him. he was brought out far too late for us to really feel like he had any runway to reach Sinister Season villain. Right? Did anyone else feel that way? It almost seemed like right at the last minute they were shoehorned in to generate the conflict we need for another 2 or 3 episodes.
I never thought they gave him even that much. She is always just a patsy for the Guardians.
Yeah,
even better.
But I think kind of relates to what I was saying before. Is he's not that complex of a character. There's no conflict in him. It's he's very single-minded. I don't think they needed to. Like I said, I think they just have villain of the week, but it's villain of the season. And
there was a way to do a season-long villain. It had been done in TV for a long time. I just think they botched this guy.
Yeah. Well, he's not supposed to be
rolled out too late.
He's not supposed to be the season-long villain. He's what he should be. It's the Guardians that they failed on.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You said patchy. It's perfect description. The Guardians are the real enemy there. So he's just a puppet.
Yeah, we should have an episode focusing on the Guardians and exactly how they're interacting with the Xindi and where they came from and why they're doing what they're doing, instead of just getting info dumps from the freaking future.
I gotta be honest, they didn't think this out well enough, and the way they paced this season really just sucks as bad as they paced season 2. Season 2 had stories that were better than season 2 ended up getting results. It really did. That was and no surprise there. All right, so our Xindi reptilian bad guys, the human female has proven very useful in cracking the codes, sir. And you know what? She'd better help us out, or we'll let her brain get wrecked. And so debate continues. Action moves back to the bridge of the NX-01, where Archer is filling in the Xindi Council members who are willing to listen. I believe it's the Arboreal and Tucker Smallwood, who is Degra's right-hand man. And there's a cool moment where Tucker Smallwood and Scott Bakula walk in character down the hallway and get into a turbo lift in a way that made sense and didn't fucking insult our intelligence. He said, I trust you, Earthman. And it's like, why? It's like, Degra was a difficult man. He had many eccentricities. We argued often, especially sharply when he demanded that we speak to your fleet. And Archer just looks at him and he goes, but any man who didn't listen to what Degra said and at least consider it would be a fool. And it's like very cool passing of the torch to a new primary primate, Xindi. And also, Tucker Smallwood proved that, no matter what his name was, he had earned a place on that panel, and that he was, he was going to continue to do the right thing. And that the Xindi reptiles and insect men are now on the outs with everybody else. It's civil war. Anyone?
I enjoyed all of that. I also wanted to point out real quick here that the prop team, set team, screwed up here, and they did not put black tape over the power light on this TV screen. It's green. You can see it in the corner.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Now you can't unsee it. They messed up on that. Bottom left.
Oh.
Yeah.
That little green LED like light.
Yes.
It's got an in-world explanation.
Sure.
Motherfucker. All right, so by the way, we're going to go to the sphere. We've got the sphere schematic. We're going back to Pilfer more tech, but now we're going to sphere 51, as it's been designated, I believe is the number. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. But we have to get in there and fuck with it some more, because it turns out I was right. Certain spheres are like coordinating hub spheres. Anakin has to disable the droid control ship, and we're going to try spinning because that's a neat trick. Guys, I feel this was kind of earned. The spheres make enough sense. Why they're leaving doesn't, but like what they're doing does. I don't know what to tell you. They're losing out to the Mirror Terrans, whatever. Maybe them losing out to the Mirror Terrans would explain a lot to why they're fleeing their dimension, right? And why they hate Earth. They never
Admiral,
bothered to
sir,
connect that thread.
If I could direct your attention to the chat, sir.
Yes.
The Dead Man.
Oh, hey, the Dead Man. Thank you for a 99-cent super chat. Let me see if I can highlight that one. Sir, thank you. 99 cents. I very much appreciate it. All super chats, greatly appreciated. And the Dead Man, like I said, he was with us on our pregame show. Maybe that'll happen again. That was fun. Maybe we'll get him on a little earlier and get some thoughts from him. He was, thinking away about the Xindi arc. This is the biggest thing Enterprise ever tries to do. Thank you for helping us support the program very much, sir. And Buddy was right in there helping me out with the thank you. Buddy, thank you for thanking the Dead Man for me. The Dead Man, way to go. You're looking to climb into the Q Continuum tonight. That's what I decided to call it. What do you think, guys? Q Continuum membership level? Like instead of a executive producer, you member of the Q Continuum.
Yeah, isn't that what we decided on before?
We had like a couple.
So.
I think Cloudminder might have been in there too. I don't know. I think there was a couple.
Cloudminder's a good one.
Cloudminder is a good one. That might be maybe
That's
that will figure into.
That's one with all the 10+ women on it, right?
You know what I'm realizing too, by the way, is on November 31st it becomes the it becomes the second full year of monetization, and everyone gets a new badge. Should the new badge be a Trek logo with 60 for Star Trek rather than for the channel? Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Gotta think.
Yeah, it works.
One. Yeah.
Or an oil well for landmen.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, right. It's going to be a Starfleet logo with an oil well on it instead of like a command logo, and it'll have like a 6 on one side and a 0 on the other. All right, so Archer has revealed some more technical information to the Xindi, and they don't think of the Guardians as the nicest people no more, and the Aquatics have their say, and all we can really say about this one really quickly is the Guardians, are the Guardians of like a semi-spiritual sort of cult, the David Koreshes of the Xindi. And the Aquatics are kind of slow and Ent-like, if you remember Lord of the Rings. And we see their tech here, and I knew that we only saw it for one reason, and I was right about it. It's so they can hang up on Archer. He tells them a little bit of information, and they kind of terminate communications with him. And then he pleads with them a little more and changes their mind. Guys, thoughts on the Aquatics and their role in this and trying to convince them? They hang up at first. Archer talks to the rest of the council, and he's like convinces them to call them back. And we get the Aquatics back again, and they're like, "What you said doesn't totally not make sense," which is basically what the Aquatics do. They talk in like weird riddles. They don't look too horrible. CGI wise, I find them inoffensive. They're more LOL than SMH. You know what I mean? LOL fun rather than SMH horrible, like in Star Trek Discovery.
Mm-hmm. I gave Archer, or Scott Bakula, really the most credit here for being able to actually act in front of a green screen or a blank wall. That's what this was. Because, obviously these are not real creatures. And he does a convincing enough job for the limited amount of dialogue there is. Certainly better than, the Star Wars prequel type crap, right? But at the same time, every time I see these Aquatics, I don't like them. I don't believe they could have ever actually made their own gigantic ships. And I always often wonder when I see them if we could have made a tank out of transparent aluminum and put them on a Klingon bird of prey. Would they fit in the tank? That's the level of ridiculousness I think this species has on this show. And they're only there because they needed 5. Right? Because of the number of codes they needed to have a majority. I don't see a reason for this species to exist on the show. So if you want to call them Ent-like or give them all these other properties, sure. I thought they were totally superfluous because we already don't get anything with the arboreals. We really only get info on like 3 of the species, and these aquatics are rather poorly done. I don't know. Does anyone else think that these creatures could actually build a starship while underwater? I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to run electric wire down there.
Yeah, but EPS conduits work great underwater.
Yeah. I assume they are significantly older than the other 4, so their methodical pace, they had a leg up, so they didn't have to deal with them on such an equal level.
Isolationists with a weird edge to their outlook would explain them better than most other stuff that we get from the show, right? That they had a huge technological edge on the other Xindi, and they just like, since they were isolationists, it just worked out for them. It's like, we just found out we have like an entire city under the ocean of crazy like aquatic people who just take a long time to say hello. It's like watching YouTube.
I also want to see a pack of orcas just take one of these down. Is that too mean to say?
You know, you would think that we could show them Star Trek 5 and they would be Star Trek 4, and they'd be like, you know what, these humans are okay. Look what they went through to save one of our own.
Or Liam Neeson saying, "There's always a bigger fish."
Again, yeah, we could go on all day. There are too many Xindi. Archer basically berates him and says, you know, it's not just my people that I'm trying to save. None of us will be able to survive. They changed the Expanse. You know, where's your new homeworld? Is it supposed to be here in this soon-to-be uninhabitable zone that I've proven to be, you know, on its way to be uninhabitable? And here he is, his final plea. It's like, I am trying to save my people, and I can also help save yours. I thought, as you said, he killed it in this. Germ, what did you think of Bakula performing here? And this whole scene. I mean, it's space politics, but I didn't necessarily feel it was all that bad.
I know he does a great job. His superior acting ability compared to everyone around him is quite evident. Acting against the blank wall, no problem for him.
Okay, let's pass the conch on to, I guess, JT. He said his thing. Sean, anything you want to say about this scene where Archer changes the minds of the aquatics in a big way, brings them on board to the rescue mission and against the weapon?
For me, this is actually probably the weakest part of the episode. Really, it's autofill. I mean, he had to say something. He said the right words. He got them to do the thing that he needed them to do.
He's like, come on, just leave the room and just the auto pen might get turned on. And they're like, nah.
Yeah.
Sean,
yeah, go ahead.
It's interesting you bring that perspective up. In Star Trek Discovery, Kurtzman Trek, they would have just not even had this scene. And you would have been like, well, why the hell are the aquatics there? Does that make the scene any better for you that they did it?
Yeah, it would have been better if the aquatics would have just said, oh, well, you killed Degra, we're out. Like, they shouldn't have needed Archer to convince them. And it was a hero moment for Archer, and it was paint by numbers scene. It was very basic to me.
Here we have a set that would have worked in any sci-fi movie at any time in history. The Xindi ship is actually pretty badass. and we have the beautiful Hoshi Sato is captured and held prisoner by the evil Xindi reptilians, and she's resisting more than they thought. And they're like, you're gonna like break these codes for us, bitch, because they hate her, and they just want her to serve them. And you know what? I would just point out for today's writers, if you wanted to make like a point about like women being strong, I don't think we saw a stronger performance by any woman. Hoshi tries to jump rather than help.
Oh, yeah.
Hoshi tries to jump. We saw this. Like, there's a reason we see this. You see this like earlier. This bridge we have to traverse. Their ship is spheroid and has like she wants to take the Emperor Palpatine exit from this story. Is the best way to put it. And they barely stop her. And if it had been modern Trek, she would have thrown like 5 of them off of there and then taken control of the sphere herself.
And she doesn't even hesitate. That's the thing. She is so dedicated to the mission that she just wants to, like you said, take the Emperor Palpatine route straight over the railing. And only gets held back at the last second by the reptilians. She has no
they need her. They don't care
qualms
about her for shit.
Preserving herself versus the mission, which shows such a development of character growth from season 1, where she was getting like seasick and screaming every time she saw something a little spooky and stuff like this. Definitely come a long way. I also want to point out that they do a great job. We talked about this in the pre-show of the lighting that they do here on this sphere, and right now it's green coming off the display panel, and it just shows the where they're at is evil, and something that has to be stopped. And also, guys, what do you think? They should have cast her in that Hocus Pocus reboot a couple years ago. Green is her color.
Yeah.
That was horrible. It could have benefited from beautiful Linda Park.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to bow out here.
Germ, could you please give your grade before you leave?
I
give
this episode an A. Very well acted, very well shot. The visual effects definitely deserved the Emmy. And Robert Duncan McNeil did a great job directing.
I want to thank you for hosting the watch.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes. There's Tom Paris, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And Sussman
Cadet
produced
Locarno.
and what do you call it? Sussman wrote it with Manny Cotto. Germ, thank you. Anything on your channel this week you want to tell people about?
This Monday we will have King Kong Escapes.
I should be there. And what about your Wednesday show? Coming back or still on hiatus?
Probably still on hiatus this week.
Okay, Germ, thank you for being here, and thank you so much for hosting the watch party beforehand. You really did so much to get people amped up and ready for the show that I owe you one. Thanks, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, what was his grade again, Admiral? I'm sorry. Bye, Jerm.
A. 92%.
Oh, 92. Okay. Thank you.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Sir. All right, I'm going to beat me down. Take it easy, buddy. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
All right. It was a fantastic time. It's not over yet. We are making it to the halfway point of the episode in good time. So Hoshi is defiant. She tries to take the Palpatine way out. And like you said, a huge character arc. I would also say this. The first time in the service of Starfleet and service of others rather than to save the crew or something like that, we see definitive Starfleet officer traits modeled by Hoshi organically without a big show and without like a lot of like flair and aplomb. We've botched a few ethical decisions. We've taken the easy way out a couple of times. We've seen Archer not know exactly how to solve a problem. We've seen him, try to do the right thing. He's gotten better at it. He's developed some first contact protocols. This is the first time we see something like This is Hoshi's arc that's got a lot of Wrath of Khan going on. She's going to get some brain worms, guys. And there's going to be a worm in her head. Make of it what you will. And they're also the thing here is
she probably could consult with Dr. Phlox at Chief of Starfleet Medical in the future.
Or RFK.
You weren't supposed to say that out loud.
He means his father, the non-controversial dead guy. Anyway, I would say, the lighting here is great. Hoshi is fatalistic. She's like, fuck these lizard men who want to kill my people. Like, they're not going to keep me alive for any good reason. I'm going to go take the Palpatine exit. And she is like hard as rocks, but I'd also say this is the first time we see model on display for the good of all mankind and for the needs of the many. A Spock-like attempt at a display of Starfleet gallantry, pure gallantry. I don't think we've seen anything that we've had reasons to save our ship or do the right thing on the mission, but this is for everybody. This is for the planet. Hoshi doesn't want any. She knows without her they can't do it. She's going to delete herself before she lets them do it. I thought that this was an awesome moment of high Star Trek world building, and I thought it showed respect to the future. I thought it was a cool moment that showed her willing to make the noble sacrifice. And let's face it, they saved her hot ass and kept her on the show. So it was really well done. Anyone want to talk about Hoshi in this sequence?
I think Linda Park nailed it. Not much else to say. I mean, I think she did a great job. She played injured pretty well. And I did like how she kind of led them along, that she wasn't so affected as they thought.
Yeah, she's playing possum with them. The thing is that we've had this, you know what? I will say this. They're not the greatest bad guys, but we have done the work to make the Xindi reptilians organically dumb.
Sure.
Organically able to, and by the way, we found out that deception doesn't exist really much in the Xindi society. They have it, but not to the degree we're able to exercise it, which would also kind of retroactively, if applied to it, explain the blind faith in the sphere builders or the Guardians. So
yeah,
we've learned a few things. There are cargo cults who got things from the Guardians. Then they sort of like worship them like like they were gods, and also like uneven tech or a lack of curiosity. Like maybe the groupthink and the council held them back. It's like the reptilians are like, we need to build a weapon, not look at the spheres. Like, we don't know, but I mean, there's enough there. Yeah, Gavin Blackburn, you're absolutely right. I wouldn't put it in their prefrontal cortex, though. That's the thing.
Oh, you know what? It's something I just realized is maybe another reason why she was able to fool them was because they have such a low regard for the primate species that they were just a little too arrogant there.
Supremacists about being reptilians.
Their overconfidence is their weakness. Another Death Star reference.
It's very true, and also, they're supremacists about being reptilian. They're supremacists about it.
Well, they're not gonna do well when they find out that Terra Prime Forever is a
Terra
thing.
Prime. You know what? Like, if they had been smart enough to just steal the Colonel Green and take it aboard their own ship, they would have had the most powerful and smallest craft in the entire galaxy.
Wouldn't you want those Terra Prime guys like on your ship instead of the Makos? Just like rabid, like we don't even care what happens to ourselves. Terra Prime Forever.
Everybody in my military who was once Terra Prime gets to, be one rank higher than everyone else. We give you the Colonel Green Award, too. This guy's supposed to be watching her do something he doesn't know, and then she adds an extra layer of encryption on top of what she was breaking. Yeah, it's a little convenient, but I guess what I'm saying is we put the work in to show the wizards are slow and dumb, and we saw the heat lamp thing. Like, he's just lethargic, man.
His thermal chamber. That was a kind of a cool.
I like that.
Yeah, thing.
Yeah, I don't think the Borg are going to be assimilating the reptilians.
They have a few like endemic weaknesses. Sean, like we tried to build 5 species in one. Like you talked about, like we had the thermal, like his thermal chamber where he got to like heat up. You would think he would be hyperactive and geniusy in there. Like what? Why don't they just have like like electric vests that they turn on that heat right up? It's like I'm smarter now, sir.
Well,
They are.
I mean,
they're not that bad. They're not Packlet bad, but they're bad. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, in the chamber that he goes, he's like sleeping and relaxing. I think most reptiles go in the sun to kind of just.
They go in
up
that
and be
chamber like
hyper.
Lord Vader does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which reminds me, the insectoids would need a ridiculously high oxygen percentage of the atmosphere, them to be able to breathe with the size that they are. So I would imagine that the primates and the arboreals are just getting like really, really great oxygen treatment all the time whenever they meet with these insectoids.
The
Right.
arboreals
Unless they
are like-
developed lungs or something.
Well, the thing is, the arboreals have advanced forest management, which is able to produce much more oxygen, keeps the lizard people a lot more active. And of course, it keeps the planet warmer. We see a lot. What I'm going to do is something I don't often do, but in this case, it makes sense. I'm going to scan around the video so you can actually see this set. It's a good set. I think it's the Deep Space Nine Promenade. Purplish lighting pervades in the reptilian environment. However, all the reflected light and all the light hitting them is green. It has a cool otherworldly effect. There's the door to Odo's office. Am I right?
You could be. Yeah, that is a DS9 airlock right there. Or a door, rather.
They threw our girl to the ground. By the way, I want to recommend this segment of the episode to everybody because she's like, no, It was really fun to watch. I
Somebody needs to clip
rewatched it a
that
few times.
about the Admiral. Somebody
Yeah.
needs to clip that for later.
Yeah, I've clipped all of Hoshi's like utterance. Let's just say it's like running Lara Croft into the wall.
Okay. I get
If
it.
you know,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hoshi tries to jump. They stop her. Again, these leftover Herosian outfits just not good enough. By the way, clipping is disabled on my show. I would never let that out there. So you would sacrifice yourself to stop us. This also confuses the Xindi reptilians. And that's, as we said, she added the extra layer of encryption. And then T'Pol and Trip have another conversation.
Oh, this is the one with the pejorative, isn't it?
This is when he mentions her ears.
Yeah. He's like, if we ever get out of this and you need to talk, I'm all ears. And she was like, sir, was that a slur against
Some
Vulcans?
subtle shade. When I was in the military, we had a conference where we all hazed the other guys in. You're one of the guys, right, T'Pol? I got some images here on my communicator that no one really minds. I think they're pretty funny. You want to see them? They're fun to look at. All right, so they have their conversation here. Honestly, these two actors are performing at a pretty high level and doing a good job. I was very happy with their performance, and this was not boring and it was not filler. I am now invested in them. I don't know if I need to see them go forward to have the first human Vulcan hybrid, but I dig them I dig them in a relationship. It doesn't bother me. I was against shipping them. I thought it was done fucking weird and gross. I feel like the doctor was like a little too interested in what was going on. He's like, Mr. Tucker, I noticed that you turned off the camera in your cabin last night after T'Pol came over. It's like, the doctor wants to know everything. He's a freaking perv. But I do feel like whatever the story or the way we got them together was, these two actors have such good chemistry together that it was worth doing so. I liked the interplay where they talked about the debate, the morality and the methods of which they're going to use and what they've learned, and also great outfits for T'Pol. Thoughts on the scenes, sirs?
It's good banter, a little tension there. But I think that I like how they resolve it. I don't have much more to say.
This
They're adult
stuff
about
kind
it
of
in a way
makes
that we
the
needed.
show a little bit closer to the DS9 drama that we don't really need in Star Trek. At least the Gene style of it. I don't think we would see this and say, wow. However, these are very strong performances. It's a good story between the two of them. It's just a level of drama that you won't see in TOS or even in TNG. And
It was written
it
for
feels very DS9.
It was written for an audience that did exist and did show up, but it was just they didn't know their audience too great. It's drama for Gen Z, written by people who were from like
Gen Z wasn't really a thing. It's
Gen
drama
X,
for millennials.
sorry, Gen X,
yeah,
and
or Gen
millennials.
X. Yeah,
Written by people who were like boomers, and
yeah.
in the case of Terry Metalis and Mike Sussman, just the production assistant and Coffee Boys. I will say this: Sussman worked his way up and seems to have earned it. The show quality justifies his name being in the credits. He has my respect so far. This is another Sussman produced episode, so I would say I give it credit for making sense.
This level of drama and character interaction is something that they really tried to lean heavily into in like Battlestar Galactica or The Expanse.
We're getting there. We're getting to Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I think they did better than The Expanse in pretty much any scene in that with these two here. Whether it's going to be the BSG reboot, I don't know, but it definitely has a similar tone and feel to it.
Yeah, and I think that that they're not turning into the argumentative space couple. They're not Ricky and Lucy in space. They're still professionals who also have a relationship. I appreciated that. Felt it was respectful to us as people who lived in a modern society that we could accept that you could be both. It's not a world of cookie cutter choices. I thought it was pretty good. Hey, the Dead Man.
Look at that.
Sir.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Once again, I have to thank Resolute Germ, Admiral Teague, and JT Kirk for having me on. I do a random episode review of Wednesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks. Let me go get you guys the Dead Man's channel so I can put it into the chat.
I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm already there, but I appreciate it if you could get it for me. I'll just close this tab because, gosh knows, StreamYard's like beam Admiral Teague into the Phantom Zone where I'm phasing between dimensions. But let's put that on screen there. Thank you so much. You know what? It was our pleasure to have you. We've been wanting to collaborate with you a little bit and have you on. When one of our community starts doing stuff, we like to help get it off the ground and lend a hand. We are friendly colleagues, although you will find that we're sort of like the New York Yankees or Seattle Mariners or Detroit Tigers or even the LA Dodgers. We like to play good, clean, hard baseball. So you know what? If you want to be on this show, just stay cool.
No mention of Toronto in there.
Well, just one of the reasons why we liked having the Dead Man on is because he's never a dick to anybody. If you're fighty and crazy, we're not gonna want to have you on here or swoon over you. But you know what? There's a room in the end of the Xindi arc and the beginning of all the crazy season 3 episodes for us to have some guests, and then basically this panel is just the people who are always going to be on the show. Guests are an exception, but we do love our fans, so we want to have some of them on. The Dead Man, thank you very much. He's got an episode coming up Wednesday, And here, please sub to the Dead Man's channel. He's a great guy and a great friend of the program. Here's the channel. Go there, sub it now. The Dead Man 79. Great young man, fantastic purveyor of Star Trek, and one of our pals here who we had his first ever guesting on another stream was with Resolute Germ. Resolute Germ is like an even more OG YouTuber than me. So like you made your debut with like one of the best of all time, and one of the only people who could ever be a co-host for someone as insane as Admiral Teague.
Now, Admiral, just a point of clarification on your previous statement. We will have people on that are caddy if their name is Angela Norris.
Yes, and also
that
Linda
is the
Park
type
is
of
invited
caddy.
on the show.
Yeah.
By the way, we spend about a minute and a half with Trip and her just talking out their differences before we're back on the Xindi ship where the reptilians are making more and more insane demands on their strained technical abilities as they're doing every single thing they can, because not only are they like using a corrupted launch code and launching pirate scripts or whatever you want to call it, they're also trying to get to a point where they can launch this weapon on their own, and also like getting ready to fight in a battle that's coming. And they've also like they're fending off and not having the best time communicating with their own people. And I believe this is where the Bugmen say, "F you, we're out. You guys are dicks," correct?
Yeah, and then they pay the price really quickly.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I was wrong. This is where they consult with the Guardians, and the Guardians are like, "We're gonna make you the power brokers of this uninhabitable expanse that you're fighting to protect, you goddamn idiot lizard men." And he's like, yes, I like it. And we spend a couple more minutes speaking with them before we see one of my favorite shots that we've recycled it over and over. It's brief, so I can show it to everybody. I'll restore the screen here for a moment. By the way, let's just say as we get ready to move on from the arc, their facial makeup without those antennae was really good. I don't know why they decided to put the antennae on them. They sucked and made them dumb.
Agreed. I was going to comment also, Admiral, before we had moved on to this specific image. The last one that you had up was of the control room of the Death Star, and there were no chairs. I don't know if you've noticed, but most of the Xindi, reptilian, and insectoid areas, no chairs. Who else in Star Trek has no chairs? The Dominion, the Borg. So it just, it seems to me that that's a popular design choice for these ships, is to make them seem inhumane by not putting chairs or ergonomic features in any way in their spaces that we see.
Yeah, this beats what they did in Star Wars, where they put like really bad IKEA furniture in there and it moves around and slides across the floor when it's supposed to be like a shuttlecraft. I also just want to say hello to everyone on the green band. If you want, jump over to the red band to take the poll. We got 15 votes so far. The episode's trending towards overall a B, maybe a B plus. So 20% of everyone thinks it's a B plus, but 27% think it's a C. It might mean that we're evening out to a full B. 7% of people think it's a D or an F. Teach their own. So here, as we have the Xindi reptilians continuing to mustache twirl or shed their skins, whatever it might be. Then we take another look inside of the Xindi sphere, and we can only hope that General Dodona can find a way to defeat it. I don't know what to tell you. Turns out it hasn't got a few nodes that if we blow them up, it's going to destroy the Xindi weapon. This is the weapon schematic now we're dealing with, correct? Or is this still Sphere Builder shit?
This is the Sphere Builder ship, I think. And if you fly directly into the center and fire a photon torpedo, then you could detonate the core.
Sorry, guys, I'm a little behind on our several side quests. I'm going to go forward just a little bit here so that we can advance the episode. But this next segment is brief enough that I can show all of it without getting in trouble, because it's one of my favorite shots we've used in this segment. And what it is it's either, I don't know whether to call it Archers or Armada or the Coalition of the Willing, but they look fantastic. I'm going to take down your comments so you can see all of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them play for a moment. And I'll just say right there, can we talk about how we've never seen an Enterprise this fucked up for this long? This Enterprise has taken a beating. Let's go with our shipbuilder first. Sean. Sean, I wouldn't want to put this thing back together, huh?
This is one distressed ship for sure. It is messed up. And I mean, hats off to the rendering people. I mean, this is not a practical model, and it sure looks like one. I mean, this is early days of CGI here, and it's fabulous.
It's a million times better than what we saw in the scavenger ship episode of Star Trek, so-called Star Trek Strange New Worlds, where J.D. Vance and the junk people had a ship. I'm never going to stop calling them that. We've scavenged the parts of old Teslas, and now we have a semi-alive ship. What do you think, guys? Is this it's the Coalition of the Willing or Archer's Armada? What do you think?
Coalition of the Willing.
Archer's Armada has got a lot of sentimental favorites too. You know what it is? It's both. It's also the Earth's last chance. This ship looks like it's held together with bubble gum and duct tape. Their sensor arrays fucked up.
There are seldom other chances where you do see damage on this scale in Star Trek, but they are very seldom. The only ones that I can really think
so far behind. This is Constellation level.
Also, Voyager: Year of Hell Part 2.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was about
really good.
as comparable as you could probably get to this.
I think. Well, the Voyager was a studio model, though.
Yes.
I think we all agree this is why we watch Star Trek, a beautifully rendered space voyage. They're not fighting here. They're going to fight later. It's going to be awesome. But right here, just seeing them in space out there, we've rounded this planet a few times. I think we had the technology to change it from like an ocean to a desert, but we've seen this fleet round the planet a few times. We still have a couple more tricks up our sleeve to make this episode more interesting, including launching the Enterprise like a fighter craft, which, gee, I wonder if anyone will ever copy that idea and have it go on a Death Star run. And this is, we find that how much time has passed with Tucker Smallwood saying it's taken 6 days to convince the Arboreals. And this is where he says, Degna was a very stubborn man. But when he finally did say something, only a fool would argue with him. I believe in you because Degra believed in you. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, Earthman. Plus, the bug people, like, they ate my old house. The termite version of the bug people ate my old house. I don't like it. But they
made me
that's why I
perform in
have
their
small
spit stadium.
Yeah. I had larger wood before these termite-like bug people came around. That's if you know what I'm saying, Archer. I don't like them. So Tucker Smallwood's got issues with them. And this Coalition of the Willing, or Archer's Armada, is going to continue forward. Strong scene. This is the kind of scenes like this and prolonged conversations like this between actors is why Trek United as a drama without a lot of action could possibly work. Scott Bakula, these two actors really own the scene. There's no scenery chewing here. It's not unrealistic. This guy is pretty cool for the new leader of the primates. And he and Archer have a really cool conversation. Like, he believed there was a future between your people and ours. That's kind of a real Star Trek line. They haven't lost the thread, these Star Trek writers. They're experimenting like hell, but they have not lost the thread of what it means to do Star Trek.
True.
Yeah, I don't know how much more there's to say about that one. This is a very talky episode. The aquatics finally show up. They're going to agree. We have analyzed the aquatics. They're going to help intercept the weapon, and the episode's going to advance. And then we see another sequence. This one is very BSG. Another Sphere Builders conference. And they live in this weird, overlit, mist-filled area where we can't see. This is as much as we can perceive of their dimension, I guess. Germ said it last week. They have a really good crystal ball, but we don't know where in time they definitely are. Maybe they can still go back 50 years. I just don't know. But they're counting off the timelines, and they're like, the amount of conceivable timelines where we come out on top has reduced to just a few. And the counter argument is, yes, but this particular one where we win is now more likely to succeed than ever because we've pushed some other people out of the way. It's almost like Gamesters of Triskelion sort of stuff. Anybody here on the Guardians and their like nefarious plan here in the Misty Space Casino? I don't know what else to call
isn't
it.
this the same environment? Are they in the Matrix or where Picard ended up?
This is
Or
where you
where
go if
Picard
you're a
ends up.
Cylon, and you're trying to
very
communicate with each other.
This is very much BSG.
I'm disappointed we don't get to see Grace Park, the other park.
Right?
in
Her
the
sister.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? I'm sure.
Can I finish, please?
Ah! I didn't realize I didn't want to say. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying before.
One
it's
of
the
those
same
moments.
It's the same environment that Picard was in when he thought he had died in Second Chances or whatever it was.
Oh, when he laughs about getting stabbed in the heart by a
there's that.
Nausicaan. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think doesn't Cisco end up in an environment like this at one point?
At
With,
least one talk via space Skype with the Guardians, yes, or the Paw Wraiths might be in this environment.
Well, not the Paw Wraiths, but the other ones.
There's so much weird shit in that fucking wormhole.
Also,
I would like to launch on the
likes
wormhole.
to laugh at Picard multiple times outside of just that one episode. I feel like in this type of space,
Yeah,
maybe.
but you know what? This is an established Star Trek thing we've seen before, so it's not going to blow our minds or ruin the episode. I'll give it that. So they're discussing how their chances are reducing. Our alien buddies they're beating the piss out of Linda
So
Park.
you're saying there's the chance.
There is. So listen, we're beating our alien buddies are beating the piss out of Linda Park. They're treating her like shit. And Mr. Reed and the Makos, they're finally going to earn their salt. He's like, this is what you guys want. We're going to do a full-on military assault of their ship. This is my question to the panel. This is me if I'm Archer. Archer goes for a surgical raid with the least amount of Makos that he needs to do the job. No safety margin, just enough. Admiral Teague sends over wave after wave of Makos because they all want to go and attack. And I try to take the Xindi ship. Anyone?
They don't have that many Makos. They have about 2 squads, or less than a dozen Makos. Remember the total complement for the ship is what, like 88 or something like that on the upper end, and
like
a dozen
20
have already
Makos,
flown out into space or gotten blowed up. So you lost one already on the sphere that we know of.
27 people have died.
Yeah. So everybody you see in that scene later on in this episode, those are all the Makos. So there is no wave after wave. Surgical is the only way you can do it, which is quite limiting, I feel like, for having a contingent of Makos, but not having very many. I feel like even if these were like Delta Force or the Green Berets, or pick elite squad of your choice, I would have had it, an entire company if I could of these guys and make everybody sleep
I would have bought a lot more Makos.
six to a 2-person quarters or something. You know, make him sleep in the bed that while the other two shifts are out on duty, kind of a
Yeah,
thing. Just
I'd be
get
working
this
their
going,
asses.
right?
I
And we
would
don't
I would
have
be
that here.
I would have like 60 Makos, and I'd be like, you guys will be beamed over in waves. I want you to take the enemy ship, inflict maximum casualties, destroy every system you can if you think you're not going to take the ship. If you have to tactically retreat to the beam out point, destroy everything on your way back. Total scorched earth. Fuck these guys. Stun grenades. Here's some kill grenades. F these guys. That's Admiral Teague's approach. It's like, I'm looking for volunteers for the crew who want some goddamn payback on these Xindi. Like, I am trying to take their ship, but whatever. I have a John Paul Jones naval outlook. So quantum entanglement, is that the episode? Or is that another episode where we go into the weird mists of Avalon of the Guardians? But this we spoke of it before. I guess we'll just touch on it again. Reed and Hayes, who are on and off frenemies, they're full-on buddies now. They've come full circle. We wear different uniforms, but we're in the same military. I thought that was a cool Starfleet line. We don't care if we die saving some people because this is about the entire planet. Needs of the many, Star Trek stuff. We're doing more Wrath of Khan beats. A lot of Wrath of Khan beats in this episode. But I did enjoy both performances here where Reed's like, we will try to save her and we will try to, we have minimal casualties with the Makos. It's like, it's compassion.
Some of the stuff about this Mako uniform too, Admiral, remember that this was like right as we're going to Iraq at this point, and almost nobody had digital camo even at that point. So the fact that they were like some kind of digital look was very cutting edge for the military at this point. So that's why I think they get the look that they do, not because it's particularly Star Trek, but they were trying to get them to mean business.
They had
like,
seen
what's
the
the most
uniforms.
futuristic thing we have?
They had seen the uniforms. They went for a different material, and they're like, what makes sense in space? They adapted it to that, and they're like, this will like heighten our analogy without beating people to death with it, and it did. I thought it was a nice touch. I agree. Although right here it looks like his new uniform is just simply navy blue. They don't have different uniforms for the ships. So this is a trick of the light. His uniform is black and gray.
Right.
All right. Major Hayes is agreed with Mr. Reed's plan to rescue the other people. And first, again, we have this really touching moment. Again, Sean, what do you think of the acting and the performances between these two actors as Hayes comes to terms with the loss of his man, saying that if he had been there, maybe it would have been different. He's definitely got Commander's survivor guilt. But then he goes out of his way, he specifically says that he knows Reed did all he could, specifically says this is the price of war. And like, I think as you said earlier, he's been ready for this to be happening or worse, but it happened finally. And these were his men, his hand-picked men. He probably had relationships with the guys, personal relationships.
What level of relationship we talking here?
Not ancient Greek, but definitely modern military.
Okay.
Don't ask, don't tell. You know what, Sean? What did you think of this? Final scene here with Reed and Hayes before they're going to attack.
I think it was great. We touched on the acting side of it earlier, but it's a good interaction. It's believable. He acts very militarily, and they show a respect for each other, and it's good. It's a good resolution to all the conflict they had before.
I'll also give it this: their resolution and what they say to each other about why they're going to cooperate is like, I have learned to like you, but even if I didn't, what we're about, what the Makos and Starfleet are about, like, we'll be the same organization one day for sure. Like, hinting at the red shirts and stuff. It's like, we're going to merge with your organization. We're going to be, he doesn't hinting at it. We have a future together as space explorers. We fight under the same flag. I'm damn proud to serve with you, and I'll serve under Captain Archer any day of the week. And again, I'm feeling like after Hoshi being willing to nobly sacrifice herself, and this moment where he's fully committed to getting back Hoshi, this is now showing the best traditions of Starfleet to come. Am I right?
Yeah.
A beautiful, beautiful moment of Starfleet world building, and You know, it's been said, without respect, we reject. This is respectful, in my opinion. Anyone?
I thought this
Yeah.
was very respectful. I thought it was very relatable. Great acting moment between the two of them. Great camera work and lighting.
Yes. There's
I
great camera work.
think in modern times they would have made them romantically attracted to one another because they couldn't just have two men
And they would both be
share a
women.
moment like this. So, you know, you get a little bit of a feel like that watching it in 2025, but it's not about that at all. It's about two professional, you know, I guess late career men kind of relating on something because they don't have anyone else to talk to, and they're the only ones in that situation that can relate to one another.
Right.
I also
well, Archer too. They order people to die, but Reed has been ordered to kill, and Reed secretly enjoyed it. He was like, "Son, I need to excuse myself to get Rebel out."
I also, one more nitpick I have about that Mako outfit was I thought that actor should have been made to have a military haircut instead of an actor haircut. It would have made the Makos much more believable. A lot of the other side actors, they don't have speaking lines, do have the buzz cut. But, you know, the Army has maximum inches of, I believe, 2 inches on top still. I think that's code. The Navy, I think, might be a little bit longer because, well, it's the Navy, but you know what I'm getting at. But he just didn't look as badass as he could have.
And Hayes is back in Nemesis. The Trek reviewer has it. Hello, Trek reviewers. Good to see you, my friend. Krimlon is back too. Krimlon,
a good call out. Yeah, that I'm glad they deleted that scene
Great
from it.
catch.
But yeah, he was the new number one.
Right, because Riker was finally going to take command of the USS Alaska or whatever the fuck.
Or the Titan.
I didn't want to say it because it's a name. That name's been sullied by Picard 3.
Oh well, that's true. Well,
Don't
that was
say the name,
though.
Titan. You sully its name when you say it, Carter.
So, Admiral, I
pretty good,
just have to point out an episode I was watching this week in full HD with Riker and Troy. Season 6, episode 3. It has Troy meet up with that empath. Then she ages rapidly, but also gets super on far like.
Yeah,
he is
super accurate when she gets old. It looks exactly like she does now. She does that crazy fucking cat lady.
But they make her wear an outfit that maybe in SD with, you know, an analog television would have been fine. But if you're a big Deanna Troi fan, go back to that episode. About 2/3 of the way in, you do, in fact, see something you would never be allowed to see on daytime television. I'll just leave it there. And it's right out in the open. I'm not like zooming in either.
Is it one of her Schrader valves, as they say?
It was both Schrader valves. Yes.
Well, you gotta love that. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Marina Sirtis fan, but like because those were okay, I'll look at them.
I looked at Jonathan Frakes' eyes on a rewatch to make sure they didn't wander, and kudos to him. Must have been tough.
He directed that scene. He's like, I'm gonna set up the shot, and like he like hawked her for like 20 minutes. He's like,
do it again.
Like
45 takes later.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the stagehands. He goes, hey, can you guys put the temperature down, please? I want it ice cold in here, thanks.
And then, like all the actors looking around, it's like, we're gonna make some overtime today, man. The Riker's got really going for it. By the way, I kept the camera on DePaul because why not? We have a long, boring conversation in Archer's cabin. It is of weight. It is earned. It is pretty good. But us as reviewers, what can we say? We have a wordy conversation about the implications of what we've been through and what we're going to do. It's reflective. It's cool. It's at the right moment in the episode. I don't know how much more there is to say about it. Gentlemen, thoughts?
Yeah,
conversation in the ready room.
We had a joke before the show that Archer and Trip would have fun with her and make up some kind of initiation hazing to get her into Starfleet, just to have fun with it. It went in a really dark direction.
You have to go kill a Ferengi right now
right.
with this phaser. It's our ritual phaser. Yes, no, it's not a pearl handle. It's an ivory handle. It's
if
from
you
Admiral
don't come
T.
back with at least 3 Cardassian neck bones, don't come back at all. Kind of a thing.
You need to cut the ear off a Romulan. So yeah, we have our heroes
Admiral?
in a
Sir?
yes.
The
Yes.
Dead Man.
Oh my gosh! Hey, Dead Man. Quantum entanglement is a real phenomenon. He says for the $4.99 United States Super Chat, where 2 particles can exist at the same place, no matter how far apart, meaning time travel is possible.
Yep. Einstein called that spooky action at a distance.
That is amazing, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, it
Man,
basically,
thank you.
like, if you they're basically clones of each other. So anything that happens to one will happen to the other one, regardless of distance. So if you change the spin or some characteristic of one of the particles, the other one will instantaneously change. And distance has no effect on it.
I mean,
crazy.
say what you
Time
will.
travel.
The Vulcan Science Directorate has determined that time travel is impossible. I'm going with them.
Yeah, you know what? Tamir would agree. She wishes she could have time traveled out of the 20th century. But you're right. But I like the scene where our principal actors here are having a drink together. We drink and eat in every episode of Enterprise. We have never broken from that.
They
Never
never finish a
broken from
meal.
that.
But they do eat more than other. Like I've been watching Voyager, and there's
They
a lot of
commit to
scenes in the
actually
mess
eat.
hall, and they'll
Right, where
order
they-
something, and they'll bring them food. They'll take one bite and they go, "Thanks for the lunch," and they just
They'll
walk.
push it
They
around
waste
their
so
plate.
much food. Remember
Yeah.
when
they're always
Q just
running
fucking
out
wasted
of-
10 chocolate sundaes?
That's why they're always running out of replicator rations.
Yeah, they're wasteful.
So they actually get to the point where they're able to be a little bit glib. They're in what was the galley. It's almost back online. It can serve food now, and you can eat there. And Chip's like, I apologize to the chef for not fixing the galley earlier. I forgot how good he could make a good meal. And I think, if we know we're deploying guys, like the night before D-Day, we gave everybody like steak and lobster. Like you get really good food the night before a battle. It's like, this could be a big deal, so.
Yeah, that's kind of unsettling though, right?
Everyone
Uncle
threw it
Sam
up.
gives you like a porterhouse. You're like, they do this to prisoners?
It would be a little scarier if they said you get a porterhouse when you come back. I'd be like, ooh, they ordered 1/3 as many as there are guys.
I only saw one food truck pull up to the mess hall. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to travel through
It wasn't
time and space
licensed,
because
though.
the Earth is moving, and you have to nail it and hit the surface of the Earth and not be buried up to your ankles in the Earth, which I assume would immobilize and or kill you. For probably first one, then the other.
Well, you'd have to account for the Earth's rotation, its orbit around the sun, the sun's
Yep.
orbit around the center of the galaxy, and
Right.
the galaxy itself moving around. So
exactly.
in 1 second, I looked it up one time. Like the Earth actually is traveling through space at like some thousands of miles per hour when you take all of that into account.
And it's spinning so fast that the entire world turns around completely in 24 hours. The world is like 475,000 miles around, guys.
Sir, Admiral?
Yes?
Sir, we've done extremely extensive sensor scans. There is no credible evidence that the Earth is actually a sphere. It's
a hexagon,
circle.
I think.
It's
Yeah.
a flat circle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go outside and you're in a rural location and you listen, you can hear the pulleys pulling the sun back to the other side of the large diorama on which we live. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're just God's hamsters. But They finally have their lighthearted, tension-breaking moment here, where we get to see that Archer still has some humanity despite all he's been through, and honestly, it's been his humanity that's forged this alliance. And then we just start to see one prop after another from Event Horizon as the Xindi first power up and then power down their Borg sphere. And I'll say it again. Here's what we found out. The design team from Event Horizon, some of them are the design team for Star Trek First Contact. Star Trek owns their own design. It's the Borg sphere. We have different iterations of the Borg sphere. Outside the ship, it's really cool. It's got like 4 different clockwork layers moving across each other. And then this, of course, is like your old like 4 spinning wheels and like the sphere inside.
You take the ball out, you could
sci-fi
train
stuff.
atmospheres, or you could train astronauts on like low atmospheric gravity type
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a gyroscope.
Wait, didn't they have
some
one of
kind.
those in the first season where the crew was kind of exercising on those things?
I think we did see some weird like exercise of the future. We never went back to that room. Unfortunately.
Well, they I think there's one where they're on the treadmill.
They do maybe go to the
I
treadmill.
remember T'Pol running on the treadmill. Yes.
Then
She
we
got
find
bruised.
out that I bruised part of my body after watching it. The Xindi reptilians, more and more problems. And here's the line: you're expecting reinforcements, and then it's like, huh? The fuck? And then they find out it's like, oh boy, it's all the other Xindi. They hate our asses, and there's consistently always atmospheric steam on the reptilian ships. I think it's because lizards need some moisture.
Or they all have a cold and it's just Vicks. Like a
I
bunch
thought-
of Vicks vapor rub in the air.
But, yeah, that could be it too. And also, I want to say we get the Rise of Skywalker ending, but there are people, Ray. More vortexes are opening, 14 to 18 ships. If you can go target them, let's see if we can see some of these ships because they look great.
They have the Christmas light stuff going on with their ship that I'm not too keen on. Seems like a step backwards. But hey.
They have really broken the budget, so yeah. I mean, we have dug up old pieces of Deep Space Nine so that we could do this. We're giving it the old college try, right? Man, I am having the hardest time. It's a really brief special effects.
Wait, did
scene,
they
but
say vortexes?
Yeah, that's their version
They
of
did
the
indeed.
transwarp conduit.
Oh, but it's vortices.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Except in space where there are vortexes. This is cool as shit. Operation NX-01 drop. Here it comes, guys.
This is the A-Team moment. Dun, 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 dun. They
Bum, bum,
build
bum.
a little escape hatch for something.
Bum, ba-dum, bum. Pride weather with an afro. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Bum, bum,
They
bum,
co-
bum.
Look, just like their ship's just like ours. They call their captain Sir. All right, so we're going to get one of the better space battles we ever get in this entire series. Yet once again, setting another mark. They have consistently set one high mark after another for these great action scenes, and here we go. They're hitting strategically the energy relay nodes for the Xindi weapon. And as you can see, it's got like 3 layers of like moving, interweaving parts. And like they're just like, nailing all of them because Mr. Reed's that good because Mr. Mayweather hasn't had control of the weapons in a few seasons. And you can see the scope of this space battle. 14 or 18 ship coming out of different vortexes because we've left vertices way behind. We have vortexes now. Good catch, by the way.
The one thing I did mention in the pre-watch here was the CGI does get a little plain looking on the Death Star.
Yes, that, and by the way, presaging BSG, their ship has no seats and no view screen.
Mm-hmm.
This looks just like the BSG command station.
But do
They're
they
doing their
do they go
best,
to
but they're
action
still-
stations?
I wish. They're still the Hirosian with weird freaking appendages. I want to see if I can get there's a moment of great decision. The battle keeps on crescendoing. We've never seen anything like this since Wolf 359, and we're showing a lot more of it than usual. The Xindi ship is taking damage. The NX-01 is blowing up from different places every time. It's not the same freaking 3 vents of fire like on Star Trek Discovery. The battle is absolutely fantastic. Then they find out the aquatics are protecting them, and we get this just amazing special effects scene that's just it is really something, guys. Oops. Let me add that back. I wish I could show this to you. I did not have time to make the essay. I mean, look at this. This is some great stuff. And the Xindi aquatic ship is badass. And we looked at the size on this one. The Xindi aquatic ship is 475,000 miles long. No, what was it? It was like
It was
2,300
between
meters.
2.5 and 3 times longer than the Enterprise
Galaxy
D.
class ship, yeah.
Yes.
And we found out the NX-01 is 230 feet across. No, 230 meters from the front of the saucer to the back of the nacelles.
Right.
With the saucer section being pretty darn big, though. All right. So the battle, spectacular.
We should have had some Beastie Boys playing.
God.
You. Don't. Your agonizer, please.
Yeah. I'll do it to myself at that point.
So they've located Sato. They can't pull Hoshi right out of there. It's going to be difficult for them, but they're going to try to pull it off anyway. A full-on assault is what they're going to have to do. And Reed has to have a little talk with the Makos. He's already got his volunteers. The space battle, absolutely incredible. I'm going to try to show you a few seconds of it. I need to advance the video to the point where... All right. I try to show you every special effect I can. A spectacular space battle. This is also a picture. It's beautiful. The Enterprise just had it with the Xindi and reptilians. And here's aboard the
That kind of has
reptilian
a Egyptian Goa'uld look to it.
Yeah, I like it.
Stargate, didn't it?
Gave it a little bit of design language. Yeah, they call it
Yeah.
Stargate people. It's like, we're Paramount, you're Paramount. Or they are, right?
You
We're
had
CW,
Scott
you're
Bakula.
CW, please.
Oh, we want Scott Bakula.
It's like, listen, we'll get you Gail O'Grady, the chick with the enormous boobs from NYPD Blue. She'll be on your show, and it'll give you a whole great season for Atlantis. You'll love her. I mean, her acting.
Yeah.
She is really, really hot.
Sir, that was so controversial. Sir.
How did I keep up with my attraction to her?
Had a mechanical arm.
All right. So, battle intensified.
you grabbed her by the Stargate.
When you're famous, they'll let you. So here we go. Hayes leads his team bravely onto the ship. There are no Enterprise crew with them. We don't have any. Mr. Reed doesn't lead this mission either, does he? It's all Hayes.
That is correct, because Reed was
the only
needed
reason
to
they're
fire
on
the
the ship.
Fofos.
Like, this is the reason for them being there. So, which kind of honestly makes more sense in a way than Star Trek doing it with like Captain Janeway all the time. You're like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
By the way, you're right about the Makos. Here's what I'll say about this. His toupee is military regulation. There's something a little suspect about his hairline. No, but his hair is they may have just sprayed it down too much, but he at least has police regulation hair. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he like in modern Star Trek he would have dreadlocks because no leader of men could be white.
And an earring in the wrong ear. Yes.
Yeah, and he'd be like, talking to people like
Motherfucker, you!
It wouldn't be the kind of genteel stuff we got here. So the rescue, they find the princess, they escape from the garbage compactor. The reptilians they're morons. Their ship is getting technically more and more fucked up. Let's just show her. We find beautiful Hoshi, beaten and bruised. These terrible reptilians.
He's in a really awkward position here. He's going to need counseling for, radioactive knows what I mean.
A cold shower.
He's going to need counseling.
Then, for whatever reason, we step back to the Guardians. They're talking about, like, the Earthship is now destroyed, like, most of the other timelines, and the one that you like looks like shit. And the other Guardians are like, we're fucked. And in Guardian Land, it's starting to look really bad over on the reservation. We have a sphere. This is the mission, the B plot here, to get to the sphere and check it out. Here's the sphere. The sphere is going to start being a real dick. Watch what it does. Just blows out all this weird, like, electromagnetic radiation. It's
Very
all
cool
effed
and unique effect. Very different effect. I like it.
I like it. And this is beautiful. This could be a photograph. There's a lot of detail here. I think somebody took the time of, like, taking, like, a picture of a nebula and making it semi-translucent and, like, actually practically using that along. I believe there's a combination of traditional photographic trick photography of Hollywood level and some CGI going on at the same time. It's not fully CGI dependent, which is why it looks better than modern shit. Anyone?
Oh, it looks great. And at least they didn't do the stupid center ring explosion thing like every sci-fi thing did for a few years.
Oh, with the outer umbra of, like, blue plasma. Yeah. I've seen some pictures of the original Death Star explosion, and I'm pretty sure that the one they show us now is fake news. It wasn't the way I remembered it, and now it blows up like a nuclear explosion. I'm saying, like, the people who served on the Death Star deserve better than to have what happened altered by the fake news media, and shame on them. Don Lemon had a lot to do with it. Anyway, the sphere is giving them nothing but trouble.
You know why he did? You know why he had so much to do with that?
Tell me why.
Because all the guys on the Death Star got fucked.
Oh.
The Empire didn't believe in safety railings, so maybe that hurt it too. Here's a great
it's
special
interesting.
effects
The
moment.
reptilians and Degra put in safety railings on this Death Star.
You know what? They have a better Death Star, let's face it. It takes a little longer to blow up the planet, but it's just as gone once you're done. This sequence with the Xindi aquatic ship is great. Flying into the distortion field.
Yeah, this is a cool effect.
It really is cool.
This is cool sci-fi right here.
No one's touched this in Disney or on Star Trek since. This is beyond what we can expect from these people.
Yeah, this was
what
this was good.
What to expect from
good
these
thought
people.
right here. And I think it instantly freezes too, doesn't it?
It's like it hits a brick wall at this point and kind of like goes up and backwards almost.
The ship is buckling, like the frame of the ship's been fucked up. Yeah, it is. As you see it flying away, Sean, it's shards of ice.
Mm-hmm.
It stays liquid long enough because remember, it's not earth water either. Like they're swimming in like something weird. It doesn't look right. Oh wow! And some of it stayed frozen to the hull. Very well thought out for their moment of video.
Unlike having a campfire on the hull in modern day Star Wars.
Oh God, no! Or unlike having the Enterprise fly into the Borg sphere like it's attacking, can't
Now,
have that.
how much force is that ship going to have all that transparent aluminum just shatter like glass?
Right.
Has to be a tremendous amount of force.
They don't have transparent aluminum; it's transparent Xindium, and it's just not as good. No, I don't know. Like the sphere builders can create quite a disturbance, and the aquatic ship was more susceptible to it. The NX-01, not as complicated, not as big, not as very little glass, very little, not as many weak points. Degra's ship are working on it. The anomalies are creating a barrier that is making it impossible for them to get in there. And so if they can disable this particular sphere, it's going to make life a lot easier. It might take down the network. This is basically what they were trying to do with that huge phone bank under Manhattan. Our friends, the Chinese Communist Party, who are not our friends. This is pretty cool how they're skirting the edge of like the distortion. And are these aquatic ships? They look like stingrays.
I think they're arboreal.
Oh, these are arboreal ships?
I think so.
Because they look like mantas, don't they? One of them's about to go in there and kill the croc hunter.
It is because, I was going to say they're chasing the USS Irwin.
Crikey! Look what happened to it. This is the most CGI it's ever looked on this show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too bad. And look how long it lasts. And we have our raid to free Ensign Sato. We're going to get her the hell out of there and back onto the Enterprise. And there's a transporter problem. We've still got... This ship has been heavily damaged, so this is not like like a lot of other Star Trek. And by the way, I've always wondered, and I've heard that they do this, it's always been the same transporter. They just keep adding to it, changing it, and making it a little different. Like it's like their good luck charm.
I
am not aware of that.
For going from TOS to TNG, the pads became the roof.
Okay. I thought you meant they were changing it in this series.
No, I mean like this might still be legacy props retasked from like they just keep reworking the transporter. They're like, we've got it. It's like already wired, right? Something is making them want to reuse it. Also, like the only one that would not be reused would be like Deep Space Nine, where you do a lot of transporting anyway. Deep Space Nine has their own transporter that's different, but this could easily be the Voyager and the TOS and TNG transporter set just sort of remade. It's about the same size. It looks the same, and I would say that which looks like the roof here is that not the floor of the Voyager's transporter pad?
Are you telling me that Tuvix stepped foot on that transporter?
I'm saying he stepped foot on the ceiling of it. Yes, I believe he did. The character we wish we could have traded out for Tim Ross. As we come getting close to the end of this episode here. Trip is only able to beam out a couple people at a time. Major Hayes, he's a Chad. He wants Hoshi off there first. Then the battle intensifies and some of his wounded beam out. He's going to go out last. He's a good commander that way. Here he is, like a Chad. I could use a change of scenery. Like, gentlemen, beam me aboard. Pure raw masculinity. And he's just, he is going down firing like a Chad. He's like just blasting away. And then
he shouts out, take Dr. Daniel Jackson first.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Wrong show. Okay.
Wrong show.
Yeah.
Wrong show.
Shit.
You were close.
I watched a very similar episode to this, it turns out. Oh, wow. I thought we were doing Stargate tonight.
Yeah, you've made me at least think of Gail O'Grady and her big, huge bibs. They're going to stay with me for the rest of the night. So here's, I want to show everybody what happens to our pal Major Hayes. Some major stuff here, guys. All right. We've gotten to know Major Hayes. We've spent so much more time with him than we're going to spend with Shran in this show. Something we didn't remember was the case, but he's ready to beam out. And as he gets beamed out, he's not quite out of there yet. We have seen before, like when they did it in Bread and Circuses, this didn't matter, but things aren't quite the same. And by the way, it's a great beam out effect. And as it materializes on the Enterprise, it's clear. And I'm saying they stole this from Rise of Skywalker. His Wraith gets shot and he dies. But I did think it was a cool, showed him to be brave, showed him to care about his men. The Xindi keep pushing things. They're going to try to launch their weapon, and couple more ships are going to get destroyed. They're going to do something of a final strike here, and we're going to get to the point where we're basically, I'll try to show you the battle. It looks great. By the way, they've talked to the ID4 aliens about how the scary wall of fire will keep the humans off your back. Am I right?
Also, Admiral, the dead man is signing off.
Dead man, thank you so much for being here. You know what? We'll see you next time. And if you get a chance to watch the end of it, we're like pretty close to being done with this one, because we're going to cap it off and do our grades in about 3 more minutes, because this battle, very significant. Look how cool. I mean, this it's just the Borg sphere. I mean, I'm a little disappointed in that, but very cool battle. We have the insectoid and
That's reptilian and Dagra. Yeah.
Is that one of the primate ships? No, I thought it was
no,
the
it was
insectoid.
Sorry, reptilian.
Yeah,
and
insectoid and reptilian. Yeah. And then we open up one of the many vortices that we've opened in this show, and the weapon's on its way to Earth, people. We are in trouble. When Mr. D finds out about this, we are going to be in trouble. And Archer just kind of gives it a look. And we go into the sick bay. Hayes is like, you know what? Designates his own successor. Goes out like a real Chad. Again, this episode seemed to be about how honorable the members of Starfleet are, Makos and crew alike. And also a little bit of Black Hawk Down, right? No man gets left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And he spends his last moment talking to Reed, his former rival, because they're two of a kind. And I'll let the audience decide. Major Hayes, he puts Mackenzie in charge, who's one of the female Makos. And then this is the moment where Major Hayes checks out. I thought he did a good job of acting. Not as good as the guy Nagilum kills, but good.
See, I think they did it a little low effort there. I wanted to hear the the heartbeat monitor just flatline.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, you know what I mean? And it didn't. I was thinking like, and then maybe have him like shock him a couple times. I wanted a little more effort.
Neural stimulators on him.
Yeah, the way Star Trek does it, right? And they didn't. That was a little discouraging.
Well, they maybe didn't develop the tech yet, but you're right. So then Archer with the ultimate question, how long before it reaches Earth? 10 hours. These guys are good, huh? How far away are the Xindi? I guess this tunnel technology that we know about before we even run into the Borg just doesn't endure, huh? Damn. That is the one really big hole in this. What they have is, if they can get there, if they can figure out a way to access this corridor, all of them together should probably be able to destroy the weapon, because it's already fucked up. And they're going to undock from Spear 41. And
oh, no.
What do we got?
Phantom Outsider.
You know what? Then he coughed and said, "Erase my browser history, bro."
Yeah, you know what? You brought up the vortices, and that is kind of a screw up with canon that they did there, because why isn't Starfleet using them? Because obviously the Xindi joined Starfleet later, or they joined the Federation. So
I
how
always
come that
thought
we
it,
never hear about Federation ships using these things?
I always thought it was kind of like an exploit that the sphere builders kind of had in that sector.
Maybe they
of
put them in
space.
there for
Maybe.
Yeah, I wish
It
they would have
only works
explained
if
it.
you have
Yeah.
cloaking technology.
Yeah,
How's that?
I wish they would have explained that, because it is kind of a okay. Where'd they go?
Guys, in this next scene, I want everyone to understand this was some of the best camera work that we've seen on this show, but we're used to really good camera work on this show. The lighting is great. The setting is great. We've seen some funerals here, and he's telling them that, Hoshi's going to be okay. What is it? Corporal Franklin is going to be okay, but Major Hayes didn't make it. And you guys got to step up. We're going to fuck up with who wants some payback. Let's go fuck these guys up.
Yeah,
and by the way,
all
once
step
again,
forward.
Yeah, it's really cool. One of the things I thought that was really great here is when he speaks, he pauses for a moment to let stuff sink in. And what they've done is he speaks and pauses as the camera moves, and every time his face is obscured by the back of one of the Mako's head, he's not speaking. So while he's speaking, and we cut away here for the reaction shot. You know, they've lost their commander. We see him here, and the camera keeps moving. He makes a statement, and he pauses. He says something else, but it's brief, right? And then he's out of he moves to stay in picture and moves back into picture to finish his sentence. I thought it was really well thought out by the director. You know what? Tom Paris, for a guy who couldn't navigate back to Earth for 70 years, does a great job navigating this beautifully
he
composed
was just
shot.
following orders. He was like, really
He
like,
should have watched.
I know guys don't like using maps, but spending 2 seasons in Kazon space is fucking ridiculous. And Janeway was like, no, we're going to do it anyway. That's how that whole thing went down. Don't put that on Tom Paris.
Oh, Gavin Blackburn. Gavin Blackburn. Oh, they call him Major Hayes. He don't answer anymore. He's the whiskey drinking Mako from Starfleet that went to war. I know that song parody. All right. So beautifully composed shot where Reed asks the Makos who wants some payback. They all step forward. He takes the 4 best Makos. And honestly, again, if I'm Archer, I'm like, send every single goddamn Mako. If they don't make it back, they don't make it back. This is all the marbles. Kill every goddamn Xindi you see. And fuck their ship up. And shit on their control panel. Well, that's when Reed says...
Maybe they should urinate on their EPS conduit so it smells real bad when it gets hot.
It's possible.
I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here. But okay, so this has always been an issue that I've had with this part of the series. Why even beam the Makos on at all? Why not just beam on a photon torpedo and blow it to smithereens?
Right. It made sense when they had the rescue Hoshi. Now they're going to just fuck people up and teach them a lesson.
Or put a nuke on the Enterprise and just beam a nuke over there and hit, press the button.
You know what? I just want to say, B'Elanna Torres, you know what? I hate to say this, with no access to a starbase ever, she's by default the most talented Starfleet engineer of all time. She's so good, she gets a jacket.
Mm-hmm.
She never gets to go to a starbase.
She had a lot of help from 7 of 9. Never forget.
She had to go 3 seasons with just supercasts. but Dominic Keating here, like, like meaningful interaction. And even the silent moment where he looks at the other Makos and he nods at them and they nod at him. It's like everybody's furious now. Everybody's furious. And a very angry Captain Archer looking pissed as hell. You know what? His hero walk into the sickbay to see what's up with Hoshi. You guys have to see this intensity that he brings.
Well,
this is amazing.
I
Yes,
also
sir.
remember that point where Lieutenant Reed said that this reminded him of 2,000 years ago when he was in North Africa fighting the Carthaginians. and the deleted soldiers lay in the hot sun, and the Arab women.
The Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions. Arab women stripped them of their tunics and their swords and lances. The soldiers lay naked in the sun. 2,000 years ago, I was here. Well, this match will not be postponed.
I'm sorry, but that is the most well-scored movie of all time. Those horns and that crazy. It's like it brings you inside his complete insanity. Guys, hit the like and follow button if you haven't. If you're coming through later, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Re-listening on last week's show was 125% of the watch of total watches. So we appreciate you. We love all of you who come through later out there. Thank you, JT. Yeah, we had to hear it.
You got it.
It's you know what? There's always time for more Patton, but like, watch this moment of look how pissed he is. His face is. You know what? His voice might not be as emotive as Kirk or Picard, but his face, man. There's nobody who can make an angry face better than Scott. Look at him here. He's fucking pissed. He is not happy. And Hoshi, just, she's messed up. It's bothering him. And let's just let the camera rest on beautiful Linda Park for a moment. I thought that intense moment walking in there and telling, Phlox, do everything you can. And then Phlox like, I am. And it's like, okay, now do a bunch of really reckless things and send her to the Xindi ship so that we can try to take them out before this thing gets to Earth. And the stakes are that high. And Hoshi's already shown ultimate commitment to the cause. They've removed the brain worm. She's going to be okay, but it's going to take her a little while to be herself again. There's not a lot we could do. The stakes are that high. I just want to point this out really quickly to our audience. Archer got beat up 4 episodes back. He has not let them do a dermal regeneration on him. He doesn't give a shit. Do you think at this point the character should be unshaved too, or does that go against his military bearing? He's not sleeping. I don't think.
Shaving bruises. That's going to be kind of painful.
He takes beard suppressor.
It's also very hard to do the makeup when they got a beard and they're trying to screw up his face.
He has to be clean shaven for them to put on the makeup. Very good point, Sean. So yeah, the practicality of filmmaking coming together here with the power of Star Trek. He's willing to do anything he can to save Hoshi, but he saved Hoshi to save the Earth. And I'll just point out, as we've seen in this episode, as Bakula's resolve has stiffened, his Caesar has gotten more and more extreme. And look, now it's got some product in it. He just had messy hair for a while. Then he had short, messy hair for a while. Now the Caesar has come into its full glory. JT, the Caesar, your thoughts?
It doesn't look very evenly cut. I would say that maybe a little bit of texturing and layering might help the Caesar a little bit. Also, the sideburns, not quite the Star Trek come down to a point like we're accustomed to from TOS.
True, they haven't reached that yet, I guess. We haven't done that in this show. I guess Trip has them, I think.
Well, they didn't have a Bolian on board to do their haircut, so.
True. Mott the barber. Yeah. Also, is this Archer's true hair color at this point? being in his 40s.
He's only 47. It's very likely it is. He might be helping it out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't say 100%. He's probably like, he has the best Hollywood makeup artists taking an exact match with Q-tips and like, white, like, taking out the gray. It's not a full-on dye job. Remember, they have enough for really good makeup and costuming. That's part of the Star Trek budget. So, like, the knock-on effect is your principal's going to look real good because you've got great makeup people that can do creature makeup. Of course, they can do people. So, the Doctor definitely has a lot of protestations. He gets into Archer's face. The only reason to put this back up here is finally a new outfit for the Doctor. We've never seen this one ever before. Finally, they stopped dry cleaning that doily from season 1. What do you think, guys? Basically works for him.
Yeah, better.
It's, you know what? The fancier one was fun, but it just got worn out and boring and dirty and old. This is just like, it's functional. He looks like a doctor on a ship at war, and his priorities are messed up. He's like, well, then I have to come with you and Hoshi. And he's like, the fuck you are. We got a bunch of wounded people on this ship. You're going to do your job and stay right here, mister. And he was very Captain Kirk about it. Like, I thought, like, Bakula is just bleeding the Kirk energy here. It's like, I don't give a shit about your problems. Because Phlox, like, walks up on him and tries to talk to him again. He's like, Captain, we can't. We can't risk Hoshi. And I'll show people the captain's reaction. The captain's, he wants to blow it off. You're dismissed. And he's out of there.
Beautiful Kohler Fawcett's there.
JT always sure to see that. And as he walks out, Phlox walks up on him. And this is how angry Archer is. I'm starting from the beginning of Archer speaking so we can see the whole thing. Archer turns back on Phlox, who's saying, don't do this. And he's like, basically, it's like, he Captain, said, it's a little too far in a few places. And he's like, you can't undo it, but you can diminish the effects so much. And he's like, you're dismissed.
I thought he said 300,000 gallons or 300,000 barrels I could get to Berlin. And that's
right. I'll be in Berlin and I'll make the damn bastards happy about it. So here's Archer report. Like, he's like, we can't do it. Hoshi will die. And he's like, get the fuck out. We're talking about too many people. Fuck you. And he's like, Phlox is like, but she's your friend. And he's like, you know what? We're all soldiers in this damn war. You're going to do what I say. And he does this really well. He goes from shut the fuck up to very quietly, now do what I say and don't give me any more shit. The Doctor just resigned
all right,
to listen to
Admiral Teague Holdo.
And you know what? I wouldn't keep my very obvious plan secret from a ship that had no chance of anyone getting off to tell anyone about it. When I saw her in that movie, I was like, Laura Dern is going to save this stupid fucking movie. I'm pretty sure.
Who had the worst role? Her or Madam Sheer Fracking Hubris? Who had the worst?
You know what? Madam Sheer Fracking Hubris said that she was screwed over by the Star Trek people with this one. And she said she would never work for them again. And she provided 4 decades of her cosplaying as a Star Trek
of course.
In Star Trek outfits. And you know what was great? There's a picture of young, hot Ann Magnuson from the 90s, and she was the Canutu woman.
Uh-huh.
And she looked great.
Did she have it worse than Admiral Hodo?
She had it worse than Admiral Holdo because she was betrayed. She went on there, and they fucking punked her. Sean, listen to this. You won't believe. Guess what they did to get her to do that show? They filmed the fake ending and made her believe that her character had a redemptive arc.
Oh, right. Yeah.
She refused to do it without a redemptive arc. She's like, I'll say this. She was like, I don't want to say fucking Star Trek. And they're like, we need you to. And she's like, and then like the show just falls apart. And the last week of the show after it aired, like a week went by and she posted on Facebook like a 2,000 word like condemnation of the show. And she's like, I'll find another job. Fuck them. And good for her. She's like, and what what she said was cool too. She's like, I've seen people using the meme. Use the meme, skip the show. So she was cool. And there's Archer. Look at that. He is just, very well directed, very well thought out. He turns his back on the Doctor. Whoever's going to die is going to die. Whoever's going to live is going to live. It's out of my hands. This mission is going to happen. And we end with a really cool scene. Here's the Xindi just speeding through their transwarp corridor. It looks really cool. But all these ships are damaged. It's not what they were hoping to send to Earth. This is not the future that the Sphere Builders saw. The Guardians were wrong. And we've just, at least we ended
Guardians
the episode.
missed the playoffs, so I could see it.
And then as we're speeding towards Earth, what's left of this damaged armada, the Xindi bugmen show up, and all of a sudden, it's like they found some space. They found some some trillium too. It's like suddenly they have more emotions than just pure anger, and they're like, you know what? We've seen the proof too now, and we're not too cool with you goddamn you goddamn reptilians. We know a lot of you are insectivores, and we don't trust you. And, the reptilians are trying to convince the insectoids to stick with them. And the insectoids drop out of the Alliance. And then we see Degra's ship with Tucker Small Wood still on it, dock with the NX-01. This ship is beat up. It's just got fucked up even more, guys. We need a new ship, right? I mean, can this ship survive all it's been through? It has been a nightmare.
It's almost like they need a shield array. They need to talk to somebody, because everybody else has one but them. They really, if they get back to Earth, they got to buy one.
No anti-grav lifts. We just drag Hoshi to the other to Degra's ship. Trip and T'Pol are kind of concerned. I think T'Pol is going to go with Malcolm and Archer, and T'Pol and Hoshi are going to go with Degra. And Trip and T'Pol. Okay, no, T'Pol and Trip are going to stay in command of the Enterprise. They've shown to be a steady command team. I trust them. And then after all this grimness and all of this lack of hope, we end with, we might just pull this off anyway. And again, this is very Harrison Ford, kind of the crooked grin. Luck is going to be on our side. And I believe that this captain knows what he's doing. I was very pleased with this particular episode and this particular ending. And I was excited for next week, which is called, is it Armageddon?
Isn't it Zero
Tiger
Hour?
Blood?
Zero Hour, you're right. The next one
okay.
is Zero
Okay.
Hour. Thank you.
Okay.
So we leave Trip and T'Pol in charge of the ship. We should see T'Pol one more time. And, that's it. That's our episode. It's a great episode of Star Trek. We went a little long on the review. I'm sorry. Still trying to work that one out. Usually when I have the video essay, we can do it briefer. This is 2 weeks where we went over in a row. We're not going to go a whole 25% over. Last week, the first-hand New York City Comic-Con report kind of was a lot of fun and great information. And everyone here knows Mark. Get out of my chair. Everyone here knows Mark. And we've had...
it. Just so you know.
We had a chance to have him on, so that's always great for our chat. And look, we were here. RRTN said, "Are you madmen still streaming? Great stuff, lads. A good episode in Bacula sells it. Glad I could drop in at the death. LL, live long and prosper." You know what? Watch the opening 5 minutes of this episode, guys. RRTNZ, watch the beginning of this. That is a great tribute to Star Trek. I hope I humbly combined Black Sabbath with Dio and Star Trek into the previously on Saving Star Trek, where what we did was we showed everyone the story so far in a pretty fun video essay to make that I enjoyed, that I hope you guys enjoyed. And you know what? That's this week's Saving Star Trek. Now comes the moment in the episode where we just give our grades and final thoughts. You know what? Let's go with Sean first. JT, you had a lot of passion tonight. You let that simmer for a minute. JT, go for it. I mean, Sean, go for it.
Yeah, I give this one a straight 90. I like Germ's grade 92. I mean, I could bump it up to 93, but I was looking back at my grades, and I think I gave the 92s, 93s that I dished out were a little bit better as far as having some sci-fi element to it. This doesn't really, it's an action one, so I give it my highest grade that I can give a Star Trek episode because that doesn't have much science fiction in it.
The world destroying weapons are just too recycled to be considered sci-fi to you. The Armageddon thing is it's a little old.
Yeah,
it's older now than it was then. That's for sure. Okay, so your grade is 90 straight A. JT, your turn.
Sure. So I give this a C, a 76%, which is a higher C. I think that for every great element of this, and there were a lot of good elements and great elements to this episode, there are a lot that cause it to fall flat. I think that the pacing of the overall season weighs heavily on this episode, and you would never just watch this as an isolated episode of anything in Star Trek. It just wouldn't make any sense. And so for this, I think it does not deserve an A
alone at all.
Yeah, it cannot be an A episode of Star Trek because of that. So that takes it down a letter. Then I look at the aquatics. I don't think are a good species. You have some other stuff
Their ships are cool though.
Yeah,
you gotta count that. That ship destruction was fucking awesome.
Right, and those are some of the great moments. But then you look at other things like, I just don't believe the aquatics is a species. Why are we using Hoshi to decrypt anything? These types of things.
We've spent enough time calling them dumb, but like it just like it's incredulous, like how these fucking idiots make it into space. It's like how benevolent are the other Xindi that they're gonna let these people act like complete tools all the time.
Right. And when you really start to look at it, this is a Star Wars ending to a Star Trek season that I just do not enjoy or appreciate. So when you do that, you mix in great stuff like the Major Hayes, Lieutenant Reed moment in the armory, along with the fact that we have to go rescue the princess from the Death Star. There's just so much up and down. They get a lot of coins
when they rescue the princess.
not without eating
King
mushrooms
Krupa.
along the way.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, the scenes between Trip and Hoshi were great, but then you had other stuff with Pride Weather even being this episode that bring it down. I wish that they had not gone this direction with the plot in the series, and this episode eats up a ton of that season-long arc, and it brings it down. So for that reason, I give it a fairly high C, but a C nonetheless.
Okay. Well, before I go, a fairly high C, but a C nonetheless. I think Sean likes numbers to track.
Oh,
Sean,
70. I thought I'd give it a 76.
Anybody else got any more thoughts on this one before I give the chat their say and then I go? All right. The poll has 20 votes. Vote now, forever hold your peace. Here we go. What grade would you give the episode The Countdown? A, 30%. B, 40%. So 70% of the people cluster around A and B. C, 20%. DF, 10%. Some people out there, I guess, are just biding their time to TOS and don't like the Xindi arc. We'll see. A lot of people don't like the Xindi arc. We will be back with some non-Xindi Star Trek. I think we have one more episode to finally wrap up all this Xindi crap, and then we're going to pretend like it never fucking happened. I don't know why, but you know what? I'm going to close the poll. The episode seems to be, by virtue of the audience and the way they looked at it, I would say this averages out to the audience gave this episode about a B+, huh? Which is where the audience seems to put almost every episode. The audience loves this show. And, you know, it makes sense that you'd be here. And we don't have any issue with that. I think it's great. I think it's great that you love the show. You know what? It's great to pick nits here. Gavin Blackburn says A minus. It was so cool to hear Gavin's voice at the member chat. It was exactly what he sounded exactly like I thought he would sound too.
You wouldn't have a panel that's balanced if somebody on the panel didn't speak for the 30% that did not give it an A and a B.
You know what? Yeah, and I appreciate everybody here tonight. Before we leave, you know what? I want to thank my panel and all of you, and let's talk about the interesting things that our friends will be doing this week. Go ahead and promote your friends and your shows and tell us what you'll be doing. Let's start with JT.
Sure. So Tuesday, I'll be on with Dadman Walking 55. He'll be hosting a sports ball talk show Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a great time, even if you don't like sports ball. Come hang out with us. Next Wednesday, I'll be on Dave C's channel, and we are going through issue 2 of The Angel and the Ape, which is an absolutely hilarious comic, a DC comic from 1968.
Oh, cool.
That had Go-Go Girls in it last week. And I also made fun of Stan Lee, and I could hear Clobby's voice the entire time going through that. So come join us for that. And then Teague, I think Admiral Sir will be doing some Landman next week at some point. So hopefully I can make it whenever that is.
Tuesday looks like the day. Here's the deal. I don't know who knows this. Sean, I don't know if you're aware of this either. Landman did 65 live views. It's up to 500 now. People just keep watching it, and they watch long chunks of it. So the Landman panel is actually slightly stronger aesthetically than the show for Star Trek. We do the Star Trek show out of love of Star Trek, and let's face it, we got some bangers coming. This show is only going to get bigger with season 4, which is huge, and it's only going to get it's only going to get bigger with TOS, which is where most Star Trek shows start. You guys have the unique ability to be in the very first show that I know of to start with Enterprise. If anyone can find anyone else who started with Enterprise and their journey through the final frontier, production order, that's for people who are interested in how many pounds of glue it takes to make an Enterprise mock-up. Okay? We're talking about characters, scenes, plot, lighting, depth, musical cues. We're talking about Star Trek as art, not as some snap together Lego set like a lot of other Star Trek shows do. So
yeah,
you know
and
what?
Those guys that do models on their channel really suck.
Yeah, that model guy. You know what? I got a quick video of this. This is the head of the American Sci-Fi Model Makers Association.
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
And that's a model car. He made that out of Legos.
Oh, nice.
Isn't your acronym NAMBLA? I was trying to.
Oh God!
Don't say that. Yeah, Vietnambla. You know what? Listen, for the model shows and stuff like that, there's a market for it, and Sean is one of the best out there. So yeah, what I'm saying is he's got his model show about that on his Star Trek on our Star Trek show. We get his take on the drama, the Star Trekness, the way the friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice that are the only things that will make a show Star Trek or any show worth watching. Without friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice, what the hell do you have? You tell me any story of any worth with no friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice, the greater good, shared goals, heroic heroes, and in this case, a damn attractive cast. I want to thank everybody who made this show possible, but first, I think Sean Carter needs to pitch. He thought I was going to forget him again, but Sean, you get to go into the big chair. What's going on this week? You get you're a big man now.
Yeah, well, you could, I'll be on Pop Culture Breakdown on Wednesday. I don't know what Halloween or horror
Culture
movie
Breakdown.
we're doing.
What's that?
Oh, it's that little show on Doomcock's channel.
Doomcock is an up-and-coming Star Trek guy. You guys should check him out. He's doing too much Disney. We want him to get onto Star Trek. One day he could be as big on Star Trek as Disparu.
Is an Eldritch Lord in captivity?
Yeah.
Is that right? Oh, okay.
That is correct. Will he be pushing the button?
He might
Don't
do
know.
it this week. Might
I'm
just
dressing
do it.
as a YouTuber for Halloween.
No, you wouldn't be believable as that.
So there's no known movie yet, which means that Gary will pick one of those same kind of slapstick Chevy Chase-ish movies, or maybe we'll get lucky. I say that you guys do Resident Evil, The Meg with Ruby Rose.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Why should I be the only one watching terrible movies? I think it's time someone sat down and explained. Admiral Teague's really making a name for himself just doing terrible programming. We need to consider this. It's actually viable. People like it. We love you all, and I want to
hold on. I wasn't done.
I fucking fucked up. Go ahead.
Can I finish, please?
Yeah. No, I wanted to take a moment here. I want to send a shout out and a thank you to Buddy Hepburn. Buddy sent me a message on X. And I'm going to share a screen because I was not aware that this model is being re-released.
What?
Oh, wow. The black hole.
Yeah. And he's like 8 inches tall or something. And so I want to thank Buddy Hepburn. Thank you so much for, I already pre-ordered it. And
when I saw the black hole, I thought it would be a picture of Cardi B.
Yeah.
Wait, 8 inches going into a black hole? What?
Yeah. Surprisingly, it doesn't do much.
Okay.
But
it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Yeah, 8.5 inches tall. And I ordered a little sequential circuit to make his little heartbeat to go up and down.
Oh, cool.
So
Very
cool. That'll
Very cool.
come. And then I saw on their on their site too. This is a cool website called Cult TV. Man, they do a lot of cool models. And this one's also coming out.
It's Kronos.
Yeah, they're doing a Kronos model. So I reserved him. But thank you, buddy. That was really cool of you to send me that. And I just want to thank you publicly. So I really appreciate
Buddy
it.
has been all around cool to all of us, and I want to thank him. And there we are. You know what? And next week, if we can wrap one up early, what I'm going to do is try this new feature where we switch the stream to private.
Oh.
And then I'll put in a member chat and with StreamYards, and in the time that's already allotted for the show, we won't be live, and we'll just be member stream, and we'll let some people come on and talk about the episode. It'll be fun
Admiral,
and easy. Go ahead.
We didn't get your grade on the
Oh
episode.
my God. I give this episode a 90, an A. This episode had everything I watched Star Trek for: friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice on the final frontier. Did an absolutely fantastic job at making me believe in what the stakes were. I cared about all of our heroes. It made a big difference that they were making so many noble sacrifices. Major Hayes' death was well played and well acted. His character was well set up and well done. This was a lot of really good payoff. You know, this is where it all pays off at the end of the Xindi arc. The hard work, the preparation, the laying the groundwork. Some was firmer than others, but I appreciate that we have 23 episodes worth of people saying, you know, sir, the reptiles are idiots, sir. And, you know, at least it held up. Like, look, we were going to do something shaky and we knew about it ahead of time. So we laid the groundwork. I got to say, you got to appreciate that. That's the way you do television. You can't make it work perfectly. Rather, like the Kurtzman people would have lampshaded it with a bad joke. It's like, you can't do it, but we will. Ha ha. And it's always the dumbest fucking stuff ever. So I give it a flat 90, even A. I'm more or less in alignment with our chat, who seem to love the Xindi arc. I think we'll finally put it in a neat little package next week. But you know what? Remember Elizabeth. This one's for Elizabeth. You know, in the words of Ozzy, I love you all. Sean, did you finish pitching?
Yeah.
I fucked up last week. Okay. Listen, I want to thank everyone in the chat, everyone in the everyone who put out the word on X, everyone who helped mod, especially Buddy, and everyone who came here to make this such a special and memorable trip to the Final Frontier. When I end this show, I'm going to start looking forward to next week's show. I am so looking forward to spending more time in my favorite place, the Final Frontier. We go to a world of not so pure imagination. There's a little bit of fact in there, and that's what makes it so much fun. I salute all of you. I salute my friends, and I salute the panel. And you know what? You're all my friends. And this show is brought to you by the genius of Gene Roddenberry, the dedication and respect of the Enterprise writers, and the generosity of Star Trek fans like RRTNZ, the Dead Man, who also became a captain again in our fleet. Imagine what ship you would have, sir. We have all franchise fleet. And Mr. House Party 6, who brought 5 people into our show. I can't thank you guys enough. I love you. And you know what? We're going to end this show the way we end every show. And Buddy Hepburn is completely right. Listen, the day that this show gets 50 comments on like an upload or a stream, it's going to be a huge day, because then YouTube will juice it a little more, and we will be able to have, the amount of subs we deserve, which is, I think, about 10,000. I think that the idea that the biggest Star Trek channel doesn't have 10,000, this is not my ego. This is for Star Trek. Do it for Johnny. And we killed off a couple of bots. We're down to 298. 2898. I'd like to see it back up to 2.9. It makes me feel good. So if you haven't joined, please join. And if you're watching later, watch with the browser open. We appreciate you. We love you. And you waited for her, so you deserve it. And here she is. But first, Bacon Spock!
Insufficient sensor data.
How long is a new Trek episode?
Incorrect.
10 fucking grueling hours.
Do it.
Huh?
Oh, you don't have the effect?
Oh, can I finish, please?
Can I finish, please?
Sit, Ubu, sit. All right, bye. We love you all.